Welcome everyone, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Good morning. Let us go ahead. We are doing CA. In case it is not okay. In CA we are doing direct tax. Nahin, final. Direct tax. And we are in our second chapter. We are doing a chapter called Double Taxation Avoidance Agreement, also known as Double Taxation Avoidance Convention Treaty, to give you relief from double taxation. If you want relief from double taxation, you will have to first understand what is the meaning of double taxation, and to understand that, you will have to first understand the global principle of applying income tax. There are some countries which don't have income tax, ignore them. But will there be some countries which have income tax? They will levy income tax on any one of the two principles. What are the two principles of levy of income tax? One, principle of residence, and two, principle of source. If you are a resident of a country, then that country will levy tax on your global income. That country will be called your home country. And if you have income in some country, that country will levy tax on the income. Even if you are a non-resident, that country will be called a host country. So, home country will levy tax on the principle of residence. Host country will levy tax on the principle of source. This can result in something called double taxation. Let us understand how that double taxation can take place. Very easy actually. Is it possible that you are resident of one country and you have income in another country? So the home country will apply the principle of residence. Host country will apply the principle of source, and which is why same income will be taxed twice. Hello. Let us understand how does that double taxation take place. Double taxation. We took the example of Hardik. Hardik was a resident in India. He earned income in any country X. He said Switzerland, but we have to assume that that country has income tax. So on that 100 rupees ka income, he paid tax in India. How much? 30. He paid tax in Switzerland. 40. And on that 100 rupees ka income, effectively he is paying 70 rupees ka tax. Do you remember that? Double taxation will be of two types. There is something called juridical double taxation. And there is something called economic double taxation. Juridical double taxation and economic double taxation. Let me first define both of them, and then I will give you an example of both. Under juridical double taxation, the same income will be taxed twice. Juridical double taxation mein same income will be taxed twice. Under economic double taxation also, same income will be taxed twice. Whenever tax is applicable twice on the same income, it will become a case of double taxation. So, same income getting taxed twice is the common part. But the difference between the left side and the right side, this is what everyone has to focus on. Under juridical double taxation, the two tax liabilities will be on the same person. So, when the same person on the same income is getting taxed twice, that will be called juridical double taxation. But the main difference is, the only difference is that under economic double taxation, it will be different persons. Tax will be levied twice, but the two taxpayers will be different associates. So same person, same income getting taxed twice, juridical double taxation. But different persons getting taxed twice on the same income, economic double taxation. Juridical double taxation ka example is sitting right in front of us. Kya? Mr. Hardik. Think about it. Mr. H. Mr. H. Okay. He was a resident in which country? India. He had source in which country? Singapore, Switzerland, any foreign country where there is income tax. Did he pay tax in India? 30. Did he pay tax in Switzerland? 40. on an income of rupees 100. Let us understand. This 30 and this 40, this 30 and this 40, is it on the same person? On the same income? Same person, same income, same person, same income, same person, same income. Then this, ladies and gentlemen, is an example of Hardik ka story was an example of juridical double taxation. Correct? Obviously, this will result in genuine hardship. Just imagine Hardik went with his newly married wife to a foreign country and he is having no funds over there. Already he is in trouble, and in that, after he put some effort to earn some income so that he can survive in that foreign country, from that income, 70% is going away only in the form of tax. It is a case of genuine hardship. And honestly speaking, if we leave the jokes aside, this will create trouble for a free flow of goods and services from one country to the other. Think about it. Think about it. If you stay in India and you earn in India, you pay tax only in India. We prefer to go to a foreign country for more income. But if we earn more income and that results in more taxes in both countries, there is no point. Then stay here only. People will avoid selling their goods and services in other countries. Stay in this country, earn less and pay less tax. This is going to affect the free flow of trade, free flow of goods and services from one country to the other. But that is an example of juridical double taxation. How to give relief, we will come to that. But first, let us also understand economic double taxation with the help of an example. Definition क्या है? Same income tax twice, same income tax twice. But difference is this time it will be different person. But when the same person pays tax twice, it will be juridical double taxation. But when different people pay tax twice, it will be economic double taxation. ये clear है? Same income getting taxed twice, but for different persons. Let us take an example of this to make you understand how can economic double taxation take place. There is a company, ABC Limited, which is paying audit fees to its CA. ABC Limited is paying audit fees to its chartered accountant. Audit fees has to be paid to your CA. Correct? Rupees 1 lakh. Is this income going to be taxable for the CA? What stupid question I am asking. As a CA, if you receive professional fees, is that taxable? Yes. There is a twist in the story. There is a twist in the story that ABC Limited paid this audit fees in cash. 1 lakh audit fees was paid to the chartered accountant in cash. There is something wrong in this transaction. Some violation has taken place. Hello? There is something wrong with this transaction. Some violation has taken place. Kya? Any expenditure incurred in excess of rupees 10,000 has to be paid by account pay check, account pay draft or electronic mode. If it is paid in cash, this expense is going to be disallowed to the company. And when we disallow any expense in PGBP, therefore in PGBP there is a treatment we add back in the profit. Start with the net profit and all the disallowed expenses have to be added back. Now think about it calculation wise. If we have added back this amount in the income of the company, therefore is the company also including the amount in its entity? Think about it. Therefore here also it is included in entity. So do you realize it is this same 1 lakh which is taxable for the CA also and disallowed, therefore included in NTTI of the company also, and the same income is getting taxed twice. CA is also paying tax, company is not getting deduction. CA is paying tax, company is not getting deduction. Is that double taxation? Same income getting taxed twice, but for two different persons. So when the same person pays tax twice in different countries on the same income, it will become a case of juridical double taxation. But when different people pay tax twice, like expense being disallowed, but receiver is paying tax, that will be economic double taxation. Example understood? Example of juridical, example of economic, example understood? And definition क्या है? Now definition is very easy to understand. Same income tax twice, same income tax twice. Under juridical it will be same person, under economic it will be different persons. And here you have to understand a very important part of the chapter. Meaning of both types of double taxation. Till now, we are done with globally. There are two principles of levy of tax: resident source. That is clear. Resident of one country will have income in another country that will result in double taxation. That is clear. If it is the same person paying tax twice, that will be juridical double taxation. If it is different persons, then it will be economic double taxation. Everyone is clear? Now, what is the chapter telling us? That whenever you fall in a case of juridical double taxation, that means one person has to pay tax twice. You are going to get some relief from double taxation. We will be giving you some concession in the tax that is to be paid. That means we are going to reduce your tax liability if you fall in juridical double taxation, and we make it clear any case of economic double taxation, there will be absolutely no relief. The concept of economic double taxation is over. Khatam. After this, whatever I teach you in the chapter, एक minute, what am I going to teach you in the chapter? How to give relief, how to reduce tax. Is this taxpayer paying 70 tax only on 100 rupees? So same 100, 30 plus 40, 70, 30 plus 40, 70. We have to give relief from that 70. That relief is available only in juridical double taxation. There is absolutely no relief in economic double taxation. Logic hai. Logic hai. Nothing is bigger than logic. You got to understand why there is no relief under economic double taxation. I'll give you two reasons. See if you understand. Two reasons. Reason number one. Economic double taxation generally happens as a punishment for violation of law. Think about it. Is there violation of law? Is there cash expenditure more than the permissible limit? Violation of law. So that is why economic double taxation is taking place. The tax that you are paying is basically punishment. You have to pay that. Do you understand this? बारिश के सीजन में बारिश होगा ना, बर्फ गिरेगा. Economic double taxation is in the nature of punishment. First reason. Second reason, use this logic. Logic. Use this logic. Take exercise, activity करते हैं early morning. Workout करते. Show me your hand. Put it in your pocket and check कर. From your pocket tax has gone how many times? Think about it as the CA. Economic double taxation में. Think about yourself as the CA. You have paid tax how many times? Once. Or think about it as the company. You violated the payment condition. So, expense got disallowed. You paid tax once. As a government, I am getting tax from someone else. What is your problem? From you, I have taken. Check from your pocket tax has gone only once. Then why do you want relief? See, relief will be given if from the same pocket, tax is paid twice. Your pocket, you pay tax twice, then you want relief. But from your pocket, if you pay only once, then obviously we will not give you any relief. And therefore, ladies and gentlemen, under the cases of economic double taxation, there will be absolutely no relief. And the second reason also I gave you, it is basically a punishment. Cash payment, expenditure disallowed for the payer. So included in NTTI, but receiver still has to pay tax. So included in NTTI, same income is getting taxed twice. Ladies and gentlemen, what is juridical double taxation? Definition. Same person, same income getting taxed twice. Both tax liabilities from your pocket. Therefore, you will get relief. And what is economic double taxation? Same income getting taxed twice, but in the hands of different persons. And because from your pocket tax is being paid only once, there will be no difference. Is that understood? Everyone? Hello? So, are we clear about the following things? One, globally there are two principles of levy of tax. That is, explain how. Good question. Already company tax is to कंपनी ने उस पर टैक्स भर दिया. आर यू श्योर? हाउ? आफ्टर टैक्स उस लॉजिक से तो Understand karo please. If that is your logic, then understand. I am working and earning money. Am I paying tax? Then one day I wanted to purchase a laptop. So I purchased a laptop from a shop. Is that guy earning money from the payment that I am making? So क्या ये double taxation? They are two different transactions, two different people. Think about it. वैसे तो money will flow from one person to the other. No, same money will flow in the market. Multiple people doing transactions. You understand? Identity of company and shareholders is completely different. Understood? Sorry? हाँ वैट पढ़ा है आपने? इंट्रोडक्शन में तो बताया. Which introduction? तो पिछले पहले कैसे होता था कि क्या होता था? तो मैन्युफैक्चरर प्रोड्यूस करेगा फिर वो रिटेलर को होलसेलर को रिटेलर तो वो केस में डबल टैक्सेशन हो जाता था सेल पे इसलिए फिर जीएसटी लेकर आया. So that was also double taxation. But my whole seminar. You have not studied VAT. I have studied VAT. You are explaining something to me which you have not studied, but I have studied. ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं था. If one person was paying just like GST, VAT maybe we used to pay output tax minus input tax. VAT maybe we used to get input tax credit. GST was required for what? There were many other minor taxes like entertainment tax, luxury tax. Thoda state government was taking, thoda central government was taking. They did not want so many taxes, so they merged everything into one. जो within the state sales होता था, one company to other company क्या any assessee, so that input VAT उसका credit was always available. One. Second, that was indirect tax, consumption के ऊपर. So that again has got nothing to do with your income tax liability. Half knowledge is worse than no knowledge. You are discussing a thing that is abolished. Abolished before you started studying for CA. I did 3.5 years articleship. Usme 3 years I did VAT audits. I know that knowledge is of absolutely no use now, but 3 years I did VAT audits, and you actually are teaching me VAT. Hey Bhagwan. Okay? So economic double taxation can be like this. Second, if you want to discuss this with me, we are going to have a chapter called transfer pricing at a very later stage. It is also very important part in international tax. Transfer pricing. Transfer pricing mein people do a manipulation. How? Will there be difference in tax rate of different countries? Let's take a small example. India 30%, Dubai 0. Is it possible I have two companies, one Indian company, one Dubai company? So when I sell anything from my Indian company to Dubai company, I will purposely sell it at lower price. My overall profit will remain unaffected. Correct? But India mein I will not show profit. I will show the profit in Dubai. India mein I will not show the profit. I will eliminate the profits from India and show the profits, book the profits in Dubai. Why? Because if I show the profit in India, I have to pay tax. Dubai mein I don't have to. So transfer pricing ka chapter kya bolta hai? Listen. That irrespective of your actual selling price, supposingly you sell to your Dubai company from India at 100 rupees. That is your actual selling price as per books of accounts. In tax, we will take the market price of that transaction. Matlab, I have sold for 100, but market price of goods is 150. So tax purpose ke liye my selling price will be 150. Are we increasing income of the Indian company for income tax purposes? Even if in accounts the selling price was only 100, the actual amount received was only 100, but in tax we will count 150. Add 50. Is the Indian company paying tax? Yes. By chance we have to give purchase ka deduction to the other company. Other company has paid Indian company how much? 100. But uska purchase ka deduction will remain 100. Matlab Indian company ka selling price we will make 150. But purchasing company ka purchase price will not be changed. That is a case of economic double taxation. And economic double taxation will always be in the nature of punishment, which is why economic double taxation there is never going to be any kind of relief. Clear hai? So the concept of economic double taxation is over. After this, I am going to teach you in this chapter how is relief given. If I am teaching you the calculation of relief, do you understand this is only and only applicable to cases of juridical double taxation? Economic double taxation as a concept is over. So answer fast. Globally, there are two principles of levy of tax. Yeah. Residence and source. Home country will apply principle of residence. Host country will apply principle of source. This can result in double taxation. Double taxation will be of two types. Type 1, juridical. Type 2, economic. In both of them, tax will come twice on the same income. Same income tax price. Same income tax price. But difference is juridical mate will be same person and economic mate will be different persons. So when different persons are paying tax, no relief. But when the same person is paying tax, we are going to get relief. And therefore, whatever relief we are going to be taught, it is going to be only under juridical double taxation. So from now onwards, throughout this chapter, you have to keep one example at the side of your brain. Because this full chapter is dedicated to that example. Mr. H, resident in India, income in some other country. So India will apply principle of residence, the home country, and India in our example was taking how much tax? 30. And that country is applying principle of source, the host country, and will levy how much tax? 40. So same person, same income getting tax twice, same person, same income getting tax twice, and for this we are giving relief. This chapter from here is all about reducing 70. Think about it. We have to reduce 70. That means, are we reducing your overall tax liability? And this is how we are going to be giving you relief. I'll talk about the possibilities. Think about it. It is possible that in a situation like this, the home country was India, comes and tells you, Mr. H, we are proud of you. You are bringing foreign money in our country. Don't pay our tax. India has agreed to waive the tax. Example, example, not the final answer. That means, do you understand? 30 is gone. So you have to pay only 40. Are you getting relief? Possibility 2. The host country says, you are our guest. Welcome. No need to pay any tax. You can take the money and go. No need to pay 40. So 40 gone. So pay tax only in India. That is 30. Are you getting relief? Possibility 3. None of the countries want to forego their full amount. India is saying, my normal rate is 30. But give me half. Give me 15. That other country is saying, my normal rate is 40. But give me half. Why are they compromising half? Because they know you are paying tax in both countries. So some relief they have to give you. Otherwise, you will stop going from one country to another. And we don't want the world to be a closed market. We want that goods and services of every country should reach every country. So India makes 30 ko 15. Foreign country makes 40 ka 20. And total 70 is still being reduced to 35. Yes, I agree you are paying tax in both countries. But are you still paying lower than 70? This chapter is all about reducing 7070 to a lower number. Yeah, so home country will forgo tax or host country will forgo tax or both of them will reduce. And reduce maybe 50% was an example. Example, India can say normally 30%, but if double taxation then 5%. So pay 40 plus 5. Switzerland can say normally 40%, but if double taxation then only 4%. So 30 plus 4. It is only an example. These are the ways in which you can get relief. I will explain the exact calculation. But do you understand the possibilities? Remember, all the discussion is only for juridical double taxation because under economic double taxation, there is no relief. Ye clear hai, everyone? So, ladies and gentlemen, in order to provide relief, income tax law has given two possibilities. Possibility 1, you can get something called bilateral relief, which is given under section 90 and 90A of income tax. Section 90 and 90A. Possibility 2, you can get something called unilateral relief, which is given under section 91 of income tax. Bilateral relief का section 90 and 90A, unilateral relief का section 91. पहले I will tell you a little about both, like a comparison, some 2-3 points. like an introduction of bilateral relief, unilateral relief. After that, we will give a heading, bilateral relief, complete the full concept in details with all the points. Then we will give a heading, unilateral relief, complete the full concept with all the points, chapter 1. From here, chapter contains only two concepts, bilateral relief and unilateral relief. Only two concepts, bilateral relief, unilateral relief, chapter over. But remember, whether bilateral or unilateral, the relief will be only in cases of juridical double taxation because same person is paying both taxes. Clear hai? What do you mean by bilateral, unilateral? Only the meaning part. Meaning. Okay. The word by in English language signifies, indicates a number, and so does the word uni. Uni means a number and by also means a number. Yeah. Uni means 1 and by means 2. We actually say there is a bilateral test series going on between India and England right now. Correct enough? Same thing will apply here. Here, both governments will sit with each other across a table for negotiation. And there is going to be cooperation between both governments. And because there is cooperation between both governments, ladies and gentlemen, here there is going to be an agreement. This agreement is known as double taxation avoidance agreement. Some countries also call it treaty. Some countries also call it convention. When both governments cooperate with each other, sit across a table, decide the terms and conditions, and sign the treaty, we say there is cooperation between the two governments, and that treaty will be called a double taxation avoidance agreement. A very, very important piece of information. Double taxation avoidance agreement is not an agreement between the two income tax departments. It is not an agreement between assessee and the two governments. It is not an agreement between assessee and the income tax department. It is an agreement between the two governments. The country heads are sitting with each other, deciding the terms and signing a treaty, promising each other that sometimes you forego the tax, sometimes we will forego the tax, which is why I spoke about the possibilities. Sometimes home country, sometimes host country, sometimes they will reduce the tax rate. This is how both countries together, by cooperating with each other, will give you relief. Such relief, where both governments get involved to reduce your tax liability, will be called, such relief, where both governments get involved, will be called bilateral. Why? Because both governments are involved. Understand how this works in practical life. Because you must be wondering, sir, you are saying both country leaders sitting with each other across a table and negotiating means Modi ji sitting with Trump hai na, Biden gaya na. See, kya chaos hai. Last year ke recording mein I said Biden. And problem is that recording is still applicable till January 26. And that was AY 25-26, no? This batch is May 26, September 26, Jan 27. Now, right now I am saying Modi ji, Modi ji, Modi ji. You never know, by the time Jan 27 comes, it may not be Modi ji, it may be someone else. But recording cannot change, no, because the applicable assessment here is same. The example is, right now, today, 5th of July, it is Modi ji and Biden. They will sit with each other and negotiate. You must be thinking, Modi ji ko time nahi, he will sit and negotiate with Trump. Modi ji will sit and negotiate with Putin. ठीक है, with these guys, so he will still discuss business. Just imagine Modi ji sitting with Miloni. We wonder will they even discuss business? You don't know the story. You don't know what is going on. What an inspiration. Modi ji will not sit across the table. Both countries have their IAS officers, their finance ministry team who will sit with each other, negotiate the terms and conditions, prepare the agreement. Modi ji will only go through and sign it. You understand? When both governments will be involved, and it is important for both governments to be involved. See, Modi ji is a Gujju, and when it comes to a Gujju, they are very, very particular about financial decisions and monetary matters. Modi ji is calling all the world leaders and making them understand. Switzerland was Hardik's example. It could have been anybody, any other country. That listen, your people come into my country, my people come into your country. If both of us start taking tax, then people will stop going from my country to your country. Just imagine. If Indian team is playing in England, so UK का government, Indian government both taking tax. Then कल England का players will come and play in India. Again, both governments will pay tax, will take tax. So क्या we stop going to each other का country only for saving tax? So there will be no sports event. There will be no entertainment event. We want all that or no? तुम्हारा बस चले तो सर can we have online cricket match between India and England? सर early morning possible नहीं है तो online करते हैं ना? And of course, you will react by saying, sir, they only have to play cricket. We have to attend your lecture also. Then we have to go to office also. We have lot to do, unlike them. Chalo chodo. So you understand it will result in difficulty of free flow of trade and industry. Therefore, Modi ji is trying to make them understand. Please let us have a treaty where sometimes you forego the tax, sometimes we forego the tax. Together we will cooperate. Sometimes you compromise, sometimes we compromise, and let us put all the terms and conditions on a paper. And that paper will be called double taxation avoidance agreement. When both governments cooperate with each other and enter into an agreement, such an agreement will be called DTAA, and such a relief will be called bilateral relief. Meaning clear? Now, what do you mean by unilateral relief? Let us understand this also. This is more important for exam. There are roughly 200 countries in the world. Roughly 200. कोई को पागल हो गया. When I asked in class, ऐसे randomly, how many countries in the world? Sir, 5,000. Sir, 2,000. Random numbers they speak. There are only 200 भी नहीं है. It is 196 or 197. But I am taking round figure 200. Out of 200, India has already entered into DTAA with about 117, 118 countries. Take round figure 120. मतलब 200 countries में से India has a treaty with 120 countries. 60% of the world we are cooperating. But there are still about 80 countries which don't have a treaty with India. What can be the possible reasons of not having a treaty? Modi ji was trying to call every individual world leader to negotiate a treaty so that we can have relief, so that there is free flow of goods and people. But is it possible that other country का president, prime minister, जो भी world leader है, he did not receive the call, he or she? Possible है. Possible है that received the call but did not agree to meet. Agreed to meet, but they were unable to come at a conclusion with respect to terms and conditions. See, not answering a prime minister's phone call, that also a leader like Modi ji, is a rare possibility. Unless you are from North Korea. North Korea, you have idea. You have idea what happens in North Korea. What is the name of that guy? King Jong, something like that. He's a very dangerous guy. And by the way, he is in his early 30s, if I am not wrong. You have idea about North Korea's foreign policy? I think they don't have internet, they don't have YouTube. YouTube is banned, WhatsApp is banned. All TV channels are banned. Fantastic. So, still not answering Modi ji ka phone call, I don't think that will happen. He will answer the phone call. Maybe he will meet, but problem is terms and conditions. Just imagine, India and Germany ka treaty. Example, India and Germany ka treaty. And in the treaty, Modi ji is forcing Germany, okay, let us write in the treaty that we will take tax only in the home country. Host country will never get tax. Let us make a general rule. So my people come to your country, I will take tax. Your people come to my country, you take tax. Both sides done. Let's do this. Modi ji ka proposal kya hai? Home country will get tax, host country will not get tax. Let's do this treaty. Germany will not agree, no. Because you will see Indians going in Germany. When was the last time you saw a German selling vada pav in Mumbai? It has to be both ways, no? So sometimes they will not agree with the terms and conditions, and therefore there will be no treaty. And if there is no treaty, the problem is there is non-cooperation between the two governments. If there is a treaty, there is cooperation because they have written all the terms and conditions. But if there is no treaty, matlab there is no cooperation between the two countries. ये correct है? And can I say that there is no DTAA? Because there is no cooperation. So what do we do in a case like this? Please understand. Come back to our original example. Mr. H, resident of India. Income in foreign country. Income का amount was 30. Tax in India. Income का amount sorry. या हर बात में हाँ. Income का amount was 100. Tax in India was 30. Tax in foreign country was 40. Please understand. In this case, we can't do anything about 40. First understand. Why? Non-cooperation. That country will take the tax. We can give you some relief from what you have to pay in India. What do you have to pay in India? 30. We will give you some relief from 30. Think about it. Even if we are giving relief from 30, overall mein to your 70 is reducing, no? But because of non-cooperation between the two governments, only government of India, only one country will come forward to help you. Means when both governments cooperate, they will reduce 70 together. But when only government of India comes forward, we will get relief only from 30. But what you need to understand is whether I get relief from 70 or I get relief from 30. Ultimately, my total tax is going to be reduced, and that is called relief from double taxation. This is the name of your chapter in ICAI study material, double taxation relief. If there is cooperation, it can be through agreement. If there is non-cooperation, it will be without agreement. Do you understand this? So whenever both countries cooperate with each other and enter into a treaty, bilateral relief. And whenever both countries don't cooperate with each other and there is no treaty, only government of India is giving you relief, so we will call it unilateral relief. Understood the comparison, the similarity and difference, the meaning of both? Ab, as I said, chapter ko if we want to complete, we just have to give two headings. Kya two headings? Bilateral, start to end, unilateral, start to end, chapter will get it. First concept, bilateral relief. अच्छा, chapter में there are only 3 sections, 90, 90 and 91. This is a chapter of international tax. Any chapter which comes in international tax plus a very important and scoring chapter, you please make sure you learn section numbers. Or I'll do one thing, मैं section number का relevance in direct tax paper, let me make it clear today. Okay? Please don't give me stupid expressions, stupid reactions after you hear what I am going to say, because you will be surprised. It is okay to not learn section numbers. It is okay to not write section numbers. It is okay. Obviously, someone who writes section numbers will get a few marks more than you. Please accept that. But the risk is, if you have written the wrong section number, you will lose everything. And thus the statement, not writing section number is okay, but wrong writing is not okay even at CA final. Just say as per Income Tax Act. Just say as per the provisions of Income Tax. In case you don't remember, I repeat, not writing is okay, but wrong writing is not okay. Ye general rule. Still, there are some chapters which are very, very important. So, for example, this chapter is very important. I am telling you learn section. Next chapter you don't learn section number, it is okay. उसके बाद one chapter you don't learn, one chapter you learn. Last 6 chapters of volume 1 you have to learn section numbers. First 5 chapters of volume 2 you have to learn. But after that 5 chapters you don't learn, it is okay. Volume 3 में you have to. Is monthly. As I go into chapters, I will continuously tell you. This chapter important, so learn section number. This chapter it is okay to not learn. General rule is it is okay to not learn. But whichever chapter I say important hai, those chapters you have to learn. मतलब I am already filtering the requirement for you. You don't add further filters. Plus sir ने बोला है कि these 10 chapters learn. From these 10 I will pick 6 chapters. And once I tell you 10, तो वो 10 you have to learn. ये clear है? This is a very small chapter. Second, there are only 3 sections. Bilateral में 90, 98, unilateral 91. And it is an important chapter. Only 3 sections, important chapter. Here you please learn the 3 sections. Bilateral relief given section 90 and 98. Whenever both governments cooperate with each other and enter into a double taxation avoidance agreement, treaty or convention, both governments together are granting you relief. That will be called bilateral relief. Yes, sir, I have completed 3 points under bilateral relief in one line, fatafat, not explaining anything, rushing portion to finish fatafat. Yes. क्या yes? पागल है? ये क्या है? Yes बोलता है. This is same, no? These 3 points only I am repeated here. So we are continuing actually bilateral from point D. You understood the 3 points here? So same है. Yeah. Today I will leave you later. Yes, बोला ना? T or C? क्या है? What is the name of the chapter? अब exactly लिखते क्या हो नोटबुक में मतलब? क्यों? तो क्लास में आके स्क्रिबलिंग कर. You have idea what you are speaking? You are scribbling in your notebook. I am asking why? Because I have studied tax somewhere else already. I am coming again. तो मेरा हो गया tax. I am coming for time pass. तो scribbling करने का क्लास में बैठ. Chapter के starting में I have given you. Today I spoke the name thrice. Double taxation. इसलिए बोलता हूँ. Focus on what is going on in class. Double taxation avoidance agreement, also known as treaty, also known as convention. Correct hai? So both governments cooperate with each other and enter into a treaty. That will be called bilateral relief. Both governments together will provide you relief. India has entered into approximately round figure 120 agreements. Obviously, the calculation of relief is given in that agreement. And that calculation of relief, which is given in the treaty, is different in every DTAA. The calculation of relief is different in every DTAA. So, supposingly you want to call yourself an international tax expert, a double taxation relief expert, you have to read 120 agreements. If you have superb knowledge about one of the agreements and you don't know anything about the other agreements, you don't have knowledge of international tax. I will explain a real life thing that happened. Okay, income tax law I teach every day for so many hours. So whether I try to or no, already it is memorized by default. Because you do the same thing again and again, practice, automatically it is saved in your brain. Just try to think about this. When you were in class 11, class 12, how many times did you solve that same accounts question? With your eyes closed also you could solve those questions, because one question you solved 5 times, 10 times, 15 times. That is why 90, 95, 100 out of 100 in accounts, class 11, class 12. And once you enter Chartered Accountancy, which is a professional exam where you should be actually solving more questions, actually solving the difficult questions again and again, there are people who don't complete the full book once also. बोला नहीं sir, 1000 questions है, इसमें से I will be able to do only 400 because sir in audit I am now taught test check, so I will do that while solving questions. You have to solve questions multiple times, not enroll for coaching classes multiple times. Multiple times. Practice, 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 practice. And which is why income tax law is told because of multiple practice. But DTAA is not in syllabus. Double taxation के individual agreements are not in syllabus. It does not come in our daily work. So one of my students who cleared CA final, one day exemption था उसको भी, and a very influential Parsi guy. That way I had no idea about it. But after he cleared and he came to meet me, he said, "Sir, I was watching videos at home. My father was also sitting with me. He is a qualified chartered accountant. He could understand everything." He said, "Wow, very good way of explaining." Then I happened to ask, "What does your father do?" Then I came to know how influential he is. Godrej Group ka CEO it was. Godrej Group is Parsi. I had no idea. And how does it matter to me? Because irrespective of whether influential or non-influential, my class fee is same for everyone. And I teach the same thing. Every student is equal. फर्क नहीं पड़ता. But then he told me, "Okay, sir, I have some work. One of my friends wants to file income tax return. Will you file it?" I said, "What question you ask? You are giving me professional work for which I will charge fees, and I know you are going to pay also. In fact, now I know you will not bargain also. So obviously I will file it. What question है?" I said, "Tell your friend to contact my office. I don't get involved in the practice work because I have less time. The whole office is handled by ma'am, and filing ka work also she will only do. Just contact her. This is the number." When that friend contacted us, we came to know that friend is also very influential. He is a director who directs shows for Netflix. Person of Indian origin, but spent his entire life in America. He had come to India for directing some shows. For that, he got professional fees. We filed his return. I took a copy of his passport. उसके हिसाब से we found out that he is a resident. Resident का for receiving professional fees, I know that there is a section in which I can save his tax. I saved his tax and his entire TDS he got refunded. He was not expecting also. He thought 10% is gone. 10% is the cost of doing business in India. वो TDS जो था ना, he thought गया. I made sure he got his entire TDS. He was very happy. But before I did his work, I checked the DTAA between India and America. Just to be double sure that I will be eligible for tax benefit in India. Will he be immune from paying tax? Can I try to save some of his tax in America also? I checked the treaty. And then I did it as per income tax because treaty benefit was available. For example, now also, YouTube ka payments that come to me, India-US treaty ke accordingly, I being a resident of India, on my YouTube payments, I pay tax only in India. America it is not taxable because I am a resident in India. As per treaty, because he was very happy with the work, he got full tax refund, which he was never expecting. He recommended another friend. He said that one of my friends also wants to file income tax return. I said, obviously, why not? Same fees. Normally, एक individual का income tax return का fees, what is going on in market? Only professional fees, no other transaction. You all do the billing work in your office? Billing to clients? कभी-कभी क्या रेट चल रहा? Individual income tax return, personal income tax return, only professional fees, nothing else. ये 10,000 टाइप करता है. कौन सा वो client है? I want to know who is that client. I will charge 9. 5,000. No one gives more than 2,500, 3,000. 2 to 3. Correct? That guy. नहीं DTAA का नहीं बोल रहा हूँ. General income tax return, personal income tax return in India with only professional fees, no other transaction. 2 to 3,000. This guy I charged 25,000 rupees. American था. And see, he was happy to pay that 25,000. क्यों? उसका massive TDS which he was not even expecting. And which is why he recommended his friend. That friend also was an actress in Netflix. उसका भी same thing. So again 25,000 fees and full refund. And the best part about CA practice is you have to impress someone only once. And once impressed, that person will pay you every year. The worst part about CA coaching is that every year you have to impress new people. Same person will not come and pay you every year. Sir, क्या मजा आ गया सर डायरेक्ट टैक्स के बैच के अंदर सर. Even if I become a CA no, for my everyday office का work, I will keep on coming. Every year I will take your batch. So that in any case income tax law changes. So I will keep on taking your batch so that I am updated with the latest law. It will help me in office. No one does that. No one does that. Every year you have to impress new people. The maximum that can work in CA coaching is that somebody who has studied from you at Intel is good enough, impressed enough that will again enroll in finance. And my subject comes only in Inter and final. Had it been accounts, SIK, 11, 12, foundation, Inter, final. But taxation is only in Inter and final. And the best part about CA practice is as long as that assessee is earning income, every year they will pay. We can refer others. So refer kar without expecting 194 H in return. Refer to kar. Do you understand? I am telling you this why. The time in which you people are clearing or going to clear CA final exam is the best time to start your own CA form, your own CA practice. Last 30 years this chance never came, and next 30 years this chance won't come again. These 4 or 5 years are the best time because early 90s, late 80s, whoever cleared CA ka exam, there were not enough job opportunities in our country at that time because India was a closed market. Liberalization came in 1991, which is when foreign companies started coming to India. So because of lack of employment, most people started their CA practice, traditional practice with local clients doing their compliances. Over time, they developed their practice. So last 30 years, they are the ones who are the owners of the biggest firms today. If we ignore the foreign firms who are operating in India, duplicate firm. Firm ka brand is Ernst & Young, but practicing in the name of SR Bharti Boy & Company. All foreign brands are basically operating under the brand of some Indian CA firm. I am only talking about the big Indian CA firms. Traditional practice 30 years ago. Now, because these people ended up consuming all the clients, so any new family member was going to the family CA only, just like family doctor. New kids of my age, my generation, could not enter practice because there were not enough opportunities. In fact, job market was much better in our time. Now what is happening? Slowly and gradually, those CAs who have completed 30, 40 years in practice now are one by one retiring. And most of them don't have good descendants who can carry on their legacy. There are some chartered accountants whose children don't want to do CA. I always tell inter students that do articleship in a firm where the boss either does not have children or children are not doing CA. And be so good that one day that boss will only come and tell you want to become partner. After that boss will make you partner, one day he will want to retire. That day you can negotiate the deal. That depends on your negotiation skill. You can make one bulk payment and buy the full firm and carry on the clients. Alternatively, you can say, okay, first 5 years you will have to give him 50%. Next 5 years 30%, another 5 years 20%. After 15 years that firm will become yours. If you don't want to make one big payment together at the beginning. But the best time to start CA firms, what is happening with UPI, with everyone being covered under banking, those who were never under compliance of GST about income tax are receiving so much income, so many funds through banking channels that they all will have to come under compliance. Are you aware that a Pani Puri seller in Chennai got GST notice because he received 40 lakh rupees through UPI? तो poor guys, those vendors don't understand. Phone पे पर 20 रुपए प्राप्त हुए. अरे bro, but that is being recorded somewhere. GST का notice आया. Poor guy does not know anything about GST, but now he will have to do compliance. He is earning good money. Most of these street food vendors are actually earning much more than white collar jobs. Local flavor, Kalidas Vada Pav wala, you have any income? You have any idea about his income? There are so many street food vendors across the country. अभी तो आजकल some are popular on social media also. MBA चाय वाला नहीं वो क्या नाम था? डॉली, हाँ डॉली चाय, चाय वाला है कि वाली? वड़ा पाव वाली, हाँ हाँ yes, that Delhi wali girl. They are making massive money. Earlier they were never coming under compliance, but now they will. They will look for chartered accountants. If you said this, if you enter this field, starting is going to be very, very difficult. Very difficult, I understand. But then doing anything of your own in the beginning is going to be difficult for you. If you are able to survive for 3, 4, 5 years, remember that same client will pay you again and again, year after year after year. That's the best part about CA practice. So those guys now pay me every year who are filing their income tax return. Instead of filing 5 returns of my Marwadi relatives, I clearly tell them, no, I don't want to file. I file only 1 return of that non-resident. So try to find out good clients. That 5 clients ka work you can do in 1 client. 5 se bhi zyada in fact, because they pay 2.5, 3,000 and here I am charging 25,000. But because I wanted to work in the case of American assessees, I read India US DTW. I started reading. Earlier it was not required. It was not in my syllabus as a student. It was not in the syllabus of my students. It is not there in the syllabus of CA exams. But for practical work, I had to read the treaty. I read the treaty once, twice, when YouTube ka user agreement was done. At that time, I read the agreement again. Now, supposedly, with practice, I am very, very clear about the agreement between India and America because I worked on it multiple times. Just like income tax law, I have memorized it. Example, I actually not memorized India US agreement, but in case I have, that means I can work on any American client. I can't do anything with Hardik because Hardik was not a case of America, Hardik was a case of Switzerland. Here is the problem. That the calculation in India-America agreement will be different from India-UK agreement, India-Switzerland agreement, India-China agreement, India-New Zealand agreement, India-Australia agreement. Every country ka calculation is going to be different. Every country ka calculation is going to be different. So if you really want to become an international tax expert, you will have to go and read 120 agreements. You have free time? Of course you do. So after you give your CA final exam, you sit and read those treaties because as far as your exam is concerned, the treaty is not a part of your syllabus. None of the agreements that India has entered into, about roughly 120 agreements, none of them are a part of your syllabus of CA final exam. Supposingly they want to ask you any question, say for example they want to ask you a question on India-Malaysia agreement. In case they do, agreement is not in treaty, agreement treaty is not in syllabus. So what do they do in exam? They give you a paragraph. According to the India-Malaysia agreement, DTAA will be given as follows. They give that paragraph from the actual treaty and then they ask you question below the paragraph. When you studied 10th standard grammar in school, online, दिया था ऑनलाइन दिया था 10th. Okay. In 10th standard grammar, have you studied something called comprehension? Comprehension क्या होता है? What is comprehension? एक paragraph है, and on that paragraph only they ask you question 1, question 2. You have to read and write. That will be a question of bilateral relief in CA exam because bilateral treaty is not in syllabus and treaty के question के लिए treaty का extract, treaty का paragraph will be given in the question. No purpose of asking. Very rarely they ask. So that way, some students start concluding, okay, sir, bilateral treaty not in syllabus, confirm hai? I said yes. So, sir, bilateral relief over, let us go to unilateral relief. No. While the individual treaties are not in our syllabus, the individual calculation is not in our syllabus. Are we clear? India-US agreement, UK agreement, Australia agreement, China agreement, New Zealand agreement, Germany agreement. Every treaty ka calculation will be different. In some treaty, we will write home country will leave tax. 30 rupees. You have the example. In some treaties, we will write host country will leave tax. 40 rupees in our example. In some countries, in some treaties, they will reduce the rate. None of the individual calculation will be a part of our syllabus. But do you realize still there is something common in all the treaties? Whatever be the reduction, at least there is a reduction in tax. So we have to learn what are the common points. We have to learn what are the common points. Are we going and learning specific calculations? No, because they are not in syllabus. But we have to learn common points. Every DTAA is going to give you two things. One, every DTAA is going to give you relief from double tax. It can reduce 30, it can reduce 40, it can reduce anything. But will there be some relief? The whole purpose of creating the DTAA is what? What is the full form of DTAA? Double taxation avoidance agreement. That means whatever be the difference in calculation, there is always going to be some reduction of tax liability. Yes? And second, every DTAA will have something called exchange of information and assistance in tax collection. Exchange of information and assistance in tax collection. Sir, ये क्या है? To explain this first point, I think you have understood. कि भले calculation is different, but there will be some relief. Second point, to explain that, I will have to go slightly out of topic to discuss what is this second point. When I say I am going to go slightly out of topic, I am not going to discuss with you what is the latest web series going on. Panchayat season 4 is better than the previous seasons. Squid Games का third season is out. This is the finale. नहीं पता Squid Games. Netflix. They kill you if you lose. मस्त है. And you know they hide their identities. Income tax department it is like this only. Faceless assessment. They won't give you identities. है अपना memes वाला book है ना. In that वो Squid Games के employees का photo is also there. To avoid corruption in the game, everything will be faceless. I am not discussing that. I want to make you understand something that was communicated to me about 10 years ago by my father-in-law. So 10 years ago when Jetli ji became the finance minister, somewhere in 2014, okay, when Jetli ji became the finance minister, Jetli ji shared something with one of his friends. You know, we often share our professional things with our friends. And this friend of Jetli ji was also a very good friend of my father-in-law. The common friend. So the flow of communication is Jetli ji told his friend told my father-in-law told me, and I am telling you. आप chronology समझो. Jetli ji said, one day I will bring a system in India where if an Indian goes to a foreign country, sits at a restaurant table, orders a coffee of $10, makes the payment. The moment you make payment, government of India will get instant notification, real-time live data. पहले का system was, you go to a foreign country, you make your expenses, that foreign government will keep that data. At the end of the financial year, they will submit all the hard copies, and those hard copies no one has the time to check. But we will have a digital India system where we will get real-time notification. When 2014 we were told, first time, my father-in-law and myself were discussing, okay, there are so many things which we do, even our parents don't. Come on, this should bring a smile on your face. And those smiling know very well what I am talking about. So many things that we have done, at least something that we have done in our life, which our parents also don't know. And Jetli ji is saying he will find out about my transactions. Specify एक दूसरे से confirm मत करो. They are asking each other, देख तेरा वो वाला your parents don't know, तेरा वो नहीं. We all have our secrets. Okay. So Jetli ji wants real-time live notification of my foreign currency transaction. We found it stupid, but that was the idea. Our government has been working on that idea for a decade now, and they are almost successful. Not completely successful, but they have achieved, you can say, 80-90% success in this objective. They started with first, everyone take Aadhaar card. Step by step, chronological. Second, all Aadhaar cards will be linked with your PAN card. Step by step. Understand? What was Jetli ji's objective? Is that clear? And for that, what are the things he did? Aadhaar linked with PAN. Now, there are people who have passports already. They are not going to come to the passport office at least for 10 years because passport expires after 10 years. So, whenever new people come for renewal, your first time passport, do not give it without Aadhaar. Those who have taken, we can't do anything. But if now anybody comes to the passport office, Aadhaar card should be compulsory. In fact, Aadhaar card is probably the only document that will be required. Aadhaar card is the only document that will be required. Passport offices generally don't ask for other documents. Maximum they'll probably ask for your 10th standard passing certificate mark sheet. Your CA ki degree se related nothing they will ask. And that also, as a first time when you take passport, are you a school student? So you don't have 10th standard ka mark sheet. So they will ask now. Otherwise, if that time you have submitted renewal, they don't ask anything. I have heard about friends who got their passport within 24 hours. Only by submitting Aadhaar card. Now understand. PAN card linked with Aadhaar. Aadhaar linked with passport. Aadhaar linked with PAN, nahi. PAN linked with Aadhaar. Aadhaar linked with passport. You understand? When you go to a foreign country, you don't go with your Aadhaar card, you go with your passport. That immigration department scans your passport, puts a stamp. And government is collecting passport data of Indian tourists in foreign countries. Passport data. Passport se they will find out Aadhaar. And Aadhaar se they will find out PAN. अरे ब्रो वो एक्सेल शीट में वी लुकअप एच लुकअप करते हो ये वही दिस इज दैट ओनली passport to Aadhaar, Aadhaar to PAN, and PAN say income tax return. Bro, you are going to a country where minimum expenditure per person is 3 lakh rupees and you are showing annual income below 2,50,000. How? Then he added one more thing. Any foreign trip you go to, the tour operator is going to collect something called TCS from. That TCS will not increase your tour cost. That TCS collected, you will get refund against your tax liability, same as TDS. But the moment you buy your foreign tour and you ask for TCS ka refund, we will ask you which country you went, give details of all your expenses, which hotel you stayed, everything. Income tax department also actually scans your social media profiles. So don't be overexcited in posting stories of your foreign holidays. You are under watch. If you are declaring income, no problem. Supposingly you are not declaring income, still posting stories from foreign holidays. They will ask you how. You tell them, my father-in-law is very rich, so I don't need my own money for foreign holidays. But do you have answers? They are keeping a track, a watch on all your foreign currency expenses. We will extract that data from foreign governments. Supposingly there is a company A Limited in India. This company A Limited has received some funds from X incorporation in a foreign country. It can be in the form of income, it can be in the form of loan. Think about it. Think about it. Now, when this company is receiving loan, it will not declare loan as income. Loan is not income, it is a liability we will repay. But then our government wants to know who is the owner of X incorporation. Our government wants to know what? Who is the owner? Because I'll tell you, this is how manipulation takes place in the international tax market. We want to learn the subject from practical application perspective, not just examination. So understand, I am an Indian company. If I receive income, being a resident, I will have to pay tax. Correct? So I secretly open another company in a different name in a foreign country and tell all my foreign clients to pay my money in this bank account. This country does not have income tax. This country does not have income tax. So I am receiving all my income in a bank account in such a country where there is no income tax. Have I received my income without paying income tax? But now I need the money for my day-to-day operations. So kya karo? Loan. This balance sheet will show the liability loan. But no problem, we don't have to repay it to anyone. You know why? My company. You understand? So now government of India wants to know who is the real owner. Do you realize government of India cannot send notices to foreign assessees directly? They can request that foreign government, please give me details about X incorporation. Who is the owner? Is this company anywhere related to that company? So that we can investigate the tax evasions. But that is possible only if that foreign country cooperates with us. That is possible only if there is exchange of information, only if there is assistance in tax collection. Whenever two governments are doing a treaty, now you will understand this point. The main purpose of treaty is to give you relief. So in the first point, check karo, is your tax liability going to reduce? Are we going to give you some relief from double taxation? If we are taking so much trouble for the taxpayer to enter into a treaty, some benefit we will keep for ourselves also. We will exchange information with each other. We will help each other in tax collection. Yeah, exchange of information, understood? From that government we will get data of this assessment. Let me explain the second part, assistance in tax collection. Again, thoda deep mein, income tax mein thoda deep mein I will take you. There is a chapter in our syllabus called recovery proceedings. Khali understand the explanation, I am not doing the chapter. Recovery proceedings. Ka chapter is basically what? Whenever you have some amount payable under income tax, it can be tax, interest, penalty, anything payable. The income tax department will send you a notice called demand notice, or has section 156. If there is any liability, they will send you which notice? If there is any liability, they will send you which notice? Demand notice. Everyone is with me? If you don't pay within 30 days, they will put a stamp on your head. Wanted nahi rahe, assessee in default. They will put a stamp. Which stamp? Assessee in default. What is the relevance of this stamp? Assessee in default. The assessing officer will now appoint another officer called TRO, Tax Recovery Officer. Which officer? Tax Recovery Officer. Sir, ये क्या है? Sir, वसूली भाई. You heard of वसूली भाई? जल्दी बोल कल सुबह 5 मिनट. You know वसूली भाई? Recovery Officer. What is the job of the recovery officer? He will come to the premises of the assessing default. He will take away your movable property. He will take away your immovable property. And if you don't have any asset, he will take you away. He has the power to arrest movable property, immovable property, arrest and auction. Auction kya? Your properties are not you. तो loss होएगा. Auction what? Auction your property. Why is he doing this? Why is he taking away your property and conducting an auction? To recover the liabilities which you are not paying. That power is given to officers under income tax. That chapter is called recovery proceedings. How to recover taxes if people are not paying. You understand? Is it possible that you are a tax defaulter in India and you have assets in a foreign country? Government of India ka officers cannot take over your foreign assets. For that, they will need permission and assistance. Come on, from that foreign government, yeah. Assistance in tax collection, exchange of information, assistance in tax collection. While the calculation of relief is different in every treaty, what is common is that there will be some relief, and two, when the government is taking the trouble of doing a treaty for your benefit, they will also keep their own benefit. What is the government benefit here? Exchange of information and assistance in tax collection. Are you clear? So, are you clear that while bilateral relief as a calculation is not in our syllabus, but as a concept, the general points are in our syllabus. So, we will go ahead. We are now going to learn all the common points of bilateral relief. Even if the treaty words are different, you will always find these things in every treaty.
Question में आपको वही हो जाएगा assisted tax collection. मतलब
इंडिया का टैक्स रिकवरी ऑफिसर विल टेल द असेसिंग ऑफिसर एंड असेसिंग ऑफिसर विल टेल द गवर्नमेंट सर असेसिंग का इंडिया में देयर इज नो एसेट बट यूके में है, लंदन में बंगलो है, सो प्लीज हेल्प अस टू रिकवर टैक्सेस. So now government of India will send a request to government of UK that please help us in recovery of taxes. Now government of UK will take over your property, sell that property, keep that charges if they are doing the work to charges later, and then they will send the balance to government of India. But this whole cycle is possible. Think about it. Think about it. If they don't cooperate, there is no question of that foreign government doing all this. So treaty is very, very important. And the world is so cooperative with each other as of today that you know India has a treaty with 60% of the world, in fact, including countries of China and Pakistan. Whatever be the war as far as land is concerned, India does have a treaty with China, India does have a treaty with Pakistan. So financial cooperation and war, they are two different things. Yeah, Marwadi business rule, I'll tell you that if you don't like someone, but it is possible to make some monetary financial gains from that person, so you have to be cordial with that person, even if you don't like that person. No, you don't agree with this. You don't like someone, so you will never earn money from that person. Or earn more money from that person. आप समझे क्या? India is doing that only. We may not like Pakistan, but we have a treaty with Pakistan. Clear है? So any Indian doing any kind of business in Pakistan, there will be exchange of information. Hello. But as we go further in our syllabus, one of the chapters, we will be taught that India-Pakistan treaty basically only focuses on air transport. So India ka airlines taking passengers in Pakistan, या Pakistan ka airlines bringing passengers in India officially as a land group. There is exchange of information with respect to that. There is some exchange of information with respect to that. Okay, so we are learning. समझा क्या? We are learning all the common points of treaties. One common point is clear: relief. Second common point: exchange of information and assistance in tax collection. Next, in order to provide relief, there are going to be two methods. Relief from double tax can be given through two methods. One, there will be something called tax credit method. Two, there will be something called tax exemption method. Two ways in which relief can be given, two methods in which relief can be calculated: tax credit method and tax exemption method. Obviously, we'll understand the meaning of both of them. So, iske niche I will write this meaning and example. Here I will write this meaning and this example. Automatically, you will come to know the similarities and differences. One thing is for sure: are we giving relief? Is relief a fixed feature of every treaty? So, how to calculate that relief? There are two ways in which that relief can be calculated. What do you mean by tax credit method? Under this, both governments will take tax. Matlab, will India take tax? Yes. Will Switzerland take tax? Yes. Both governments will take tax, but one will give credit of what? Of the tax that you have paid in the other country. While both countries are going to take tax, one of them will give you credit of what you have paid in the other country. So you have the example, Hardika example at the side of your brain. Resident in India, income in Switzerland, amount of income 100, tax in India 30, tax in Switzerland 40. We now want relief. So possibility 1, example 1, supposingly treaty में लिखा है that India gives credit. What do you mean by this? You are having double taxation right now. Both countries were supposed to take tax, but it is decided that India will give credit. If India is giving credit, so first of all, Switzerland ka 40, so you will have to go. Because as per treaty, who is giving credit? And when it comes to India, think about it. India mein tax liability was how much? 30. But is it decided that India is going to give credit? Of what? Of whatever you have paid in the other country. How much have you paid in the other country? But do you have the brain to understand? Maximum credit will be 30. Just imagine, you paying 40 in Switzerland, then coming and telling Indian assessing officer, sir, आपका liability कितना है? Well, how much? 30. But how much I have paid over there? 40. So you give me 10. Officer को क्या बोल रहा है? You give me 10. अरे नहीं. At best, you will obviously not pay any tax. But what is the second possibility? Switzerland gives credit. तो ये वाले एग्जांपल में do you understand India का full 30 you will have to pay because credit is being given by Switzerland. What is your liability? 40. But you can take credit of the tax that you have paid in India, and therefore your tax finally payable will be. So check कर. Are both governments taking tax? Are both governments taking tax? Yes. But one is giving you credit of the tax that you have paid in the other. Both governments charge tax, but one of them gives you credit of the tax that you have paid in the other. I do agree that you are paying tax in both countries, but do you realize 30 plus 10, 40 is still lower than 7070? Do you agree? Do you understand? Wake up. Are you paying tax in both countries? But still better than 70? This is called tax credit method. In the first example, which country gave credit? India. In the second example? Now I have a question for you. Listen to the question very carefully. If you don't understand the question, tell me again, I will explain. But I want you to give me the correct answer. So now, example 1, India gave credit. Example 2, Switzerland gave credit. But these are examples. These are possibilities. In real life, who will give credit? India ke Switzerland. Example mein to I have discussed both possibilities. But actual credit will be given by India ke Switzerland. India, typing also India. Wrong answer. India है wrong answer. बोल अभी सर इंडिया wrong answer तो स्विट्जरलैंड. Both कैसे देखो? as per what is written in the treaty. The whole idea is this, no bro. Treaty बोलेगा home country will give credit, a host country will give credit. Whatever is written in the treaty is the correct answer. Hello. And these are the two possibilities. It can be India, it can be Switzerland. You have to read the treaty. So in real life, you will have to go and read the actual treaty for your actual assessment. Exam life, applicable. Exam is only talking about this and this are the two possibilities. Actual answer क्या है? Go and read the treaty. Clear? Okay, let's talk about the tax exemption. It's even easier. Very easy it is. Very easy. As the name indicates, one government will charge tax and the other government will fully exempt. One government will take tax from you, other government will fully exempt you. Very easy. For example, first, India has decided to give you exemption. So what was your tax in Switzerland? That you will have to pay, and full stop. India ka tax exempt because India ka government has decided to give you exemption. And second, Switzerland ka government has decided to. You only tell me what is going to happen. India ka 30 to be paid and full stop. Nothing to do in Switzerland. One government will take tax, other government will leave. One government will take, other government will leave. That is your concept of tax exemption method. Correct? Okay, wait. India giving exemption was first example. Switzerland giving exemption was second example. These are two possibilities. This or this, this or this. Actual real life, which country will give exemption? Come on, come on. Abhi to. So you are allowed to make mistakes in class. We are all here to learn. We are all learning tax for the first time. Good morning. कैसे हो? What's your name? मैंने पहले भी पूछा था. क्या चल रहा है लाइफ में? Correct? It is okay to go wrong in class, but it is not okay to repeat mistakes. Repeating mistakes is a crime, unpardonable crime. So are you clear? Yeah. It will be as per treaty. So which country will give credit? As per treaty. Which country will give exemption? As per treaty. Okay, wait. These are the two methods which are possible. Some countries will agree on a tax credit method, some countries will agree on a tax exemption method. So these are the two possibilities internationally. We have discussed the possibilities. Actual relief will be as per tax credit method or tax exemption method. As per the treaty. I hope you are understanding what is happening. So whether we do this or this, whatever will happen as per treaty. The individual treaties and their calculations are not in our syllabus. So we just have to understand all the general possibilities under bilateral relief, whatever are the common possibilities, general possibilities, we are learning all of them. Are you understanding what is happening? So quite a few points, general points under bilateral relief. I'm going to be giving you a very, very surprising point. Okay. That the provisions of double taxation avoidance agreement, the treaty, optional. DTAA is optional. Matlab, it is not compulsory to pay tax as per DTAA. You can pay tax as per normal income tax or tax as per DTAA. You can pay any one of them. Tell me one thing. Whenever there is an option between two things in income tax, which one we will choose? Obviously, wherever there is higher tax liability, because CAs are partners in nation building. तो कौन सा? Whichever is beneficial. Very good, very smart. So I will pay normal income tax, or I will pay the tax which is given in DTW, whichever is beneficial. There is absolutely no difficulty in understanding this point. So this tax or this tax, whichever is lower, because DTAA is not compulsory, DTAA is optional. So I can pay this tax or this tax, whichever is beneficial. I am an intelligent student, sir, and thus I have a question for you. Sir, ये point से related I have a question. I have a big doubt about this. क्या बोल? DTAA is created to give relief. The whole idea behind DTAA is that you are going to get relief. So then if DTAA is created for relief, how can normal income tax be beneficial? What stupid statement you are making in front of us? What am I trying to tell you? Normal income tax or DTAA, whichever is lower. And DTAA is created only for relief. So DTAA will be only lower, no? ये doubt समझ में आया? Obviously, if they have given the point, that means there is some possibility here. Understand? Okay. Supposingly, as per Income Tax Act, there is some tax, and as per DTAA, there is some tax. Income Tax Act ka tax starts with basic exemption limit. It can go up to 30%. If I talk about individual assessees, at least firms and companies always fall in flat rate. DTAA sometimes gives us something called a concessional rate of tax. Something like this. DTAA can say that normally any income in this country is taxable as per these rates. However, if you are paying tax in both countries and you are suffering double taxation, then you don't need to pay such a high rate of tax. You can pay on this income a very, very small rate of 5%. So normal income tax ka rate can go to 30%, but DTAA is giving you a concessional rate of 5%. Correct? Everyone? Now, supposingly, my income is 1 crore. The normal income tax will come at 30%, but DTAA will come at 5%. So, where is the lower rate of tax? DTAA. And which tax I will pay? And this is your question. No, sir, DTAA comes for relief only, so DTAA will be beneficial only. No, sir. What if my income is not 1 crore, but only 1 lakh? Think about it. If my income is only 1 lakh, the normal income tax will be 0%. Q, sir, Q, why? I am below basic exemption limit. But DTAA has given a flat rate. So in DTAA, this 1 lakh will also go in 5%. So this time my tax as per, and therefore I will pay as per Act. So that means this point can apply only for slab rate assessees if you want to understand it like this. Because as far as companies and firms are concerned, they have flat rate and DTAA will always be lower. But in slab rate assessee, that also your income level is too less. So this example to a certain extent is hypothetical in the sense that somebody having operations in a foreign country but total income is below 2,50,000. Example is hypothetical but not impossible. I hope you are understanding. Okay. So normally we will pay whichever is beneficial, but the question is DTAA will always be beneficial? No, sir. Sometimes, very rarely, normal tax can also be beneficial. Clear hai? Yes, please. Hello? Set off. We will not pay tax on loss because it is income tax act, not loss tax act. तो करना ये होगा that first that loss will be set off against your other taxable income as per set off and carry forward का chapter. उसमें कुछ restrictions like long term loss only against long term gains, owning and maintaining resources का loss only against OMR as per profits. Certain losses we are allowed to carry forward, certain losses we are not allowed to carry forward. Number of years. You apply all those principles, and after setting off loss, the income which is remaining, it is that income on which you have to pay tax, and on that income you calculate as per act or as per applicable whichever is beneficial. Direct loss के ऊपर we don't pay tax. I hope you understand. Loss set off करने के बाद में remaining income is what we will check. Clear? हाँ हाँ okay, that one. Listen, you have loss where? Foreign country. Okay, you have income किधर? या तो you have income in India and you are saying I have income in foreign country also. वो कैसे? ये तो already loss है ना. Or maybe this is your business A, this is your business B, and you have a business C which is also in a foreign country. अब ये तो बोल ही नहीं सकते हो ना कि सर this same business is having profit as well as loss. So supposingly foreign में you have two businesses. One is a loss making business, one is a profit making business. Correct है? This is your total PGBP. ये total PGBP है. This loss will be adjusted against total. Do you pay tax on same income twice? No. You cannot take set off of same loss twice. Now you decide ये loss which income के against set off लेना is beneficial. You understand? Indian income के against set off लेना is beneficial, के foreign income के against set off लेना is beneficial. That is going to be your calculation in Indian income tax law. मेरी बात सुनो. In Indian income tax law, this is your total income. Come on. Against this, you will set off this loss. Total के against. Take whichever is beneficial. Now, if you are asking about income tax law of the foreign country, first of all, foreign country में this income won't be considered because we are assuming you are resident in India. तो वहां पे it is only a source based income. If you are resident there also, then it's a different story altogether. You are resident only in India. तो वहां का income tax calculation is only going to be this income minus this loss because the other Indian income is not available only for set off. And now what is going to happen? ये foreign का loss when you set off against this foreign income, the net amount that is remaining after taking set off is the amount on which you have paid double tax, if you understand. Think about it. Indian income 10 lakh, foreign income 5 lakh, and your loss is 2 lakh. Correct? Foreign country में you have taken set off of this. Foreign country में तो 10 lakh will not come in your calculation only. So foreign country में you have paid tax only on 3 lakh. Now that same 3 lakh is coming to India also. How? Adjust करके. So when we will calculate your double taxation relief, we will not calculate on 5 lakh, we will calculate only on 3 lakh. And we are assuming that ये loss as per that country's income tax law is eligible for set off, which the question will tell. If this loss is eligible for set off in that country, then only it is going to be considered as 3 lakh. If this loss is eligible for set off in India only, ये भी समझ लो. Supposingly that country does not give you set off, so there you have paid tax on full 5 lakh. India में तो PGBP का set off है. Let's talk about foreign country. So full 5 lakh you paid tax. But when it comes to your Indian income tax law, you still have paid only 3 lakh के ऊपर tax. क्योंकि even if that country is not allowing, India has still allowed set off. So if I ask you, double taxation has come on how much amount? That country levied tax on 5 lakh, but India levied tax only on 3 lakh. So double taxation is still applicable only on 3 lakh, and thus relief will still be calculated only on 3 lakh. So no confusion now?
सर
हाँ
आप लोग जो रेट का बोला ना कि डबल है जो भी बेनिफिशियल का वो रेट का कर
हाँ
तो मेरा डाउट है कि जब हम बेसिक एग्जेम्पशन लेंगे नॉर्मल इनकम टैक्स तो वो अमाउंट क्या होगा टोटल इनकम होगा मेरा या फिर जो मैंने फॉरेन से कमाया फॉरेन
basic exemption will come always on the total income, but we are assuming कि ये 1 lakh ही total income.
तो फिर वो ऐसा नहीं हो जाएगा कि एक स्पेशल रेट होगा मैं फॉरेन इनकम जो मेरा है
Foreign income will also be taxable at normal rate unless it falls in special. देखो कोई foreign income है ना special rate में आती है, तो that तो you any which way are going to segregate. तो Indian income tax के हिसाब से it is coming to maybe say 12.5%, but DTAA के हिसाब से it is coming to 5%. तो we will pay tax as per 5%. लेकिन if it is normal income तो you have to include in normal slabs only. लेकिन हमारा assumption is what? ये 1 lakh ही total income. तो total income 1 lakh है तो इंडिया का how much tax will come? 0. And DTAA के हिसाब से it will be 5%. So ultimately we will pay whichever is beneficial. Clear हो? What is your name? अमन का भाई है. धीरे धीरे I am reaching that age where all the younger siblings are one by one coming and sitting in the classroom. You are the elder one. ऐसा कैसे? सर सीए है. सीए में ऐसा ही होता है. There is no ragging because juniors become seniors, senior become. And this is not the first time where the younger sibling has attended batch and gone. At Inter, I have had 3-4 cases recently where a student who is the elder sibling is now attending. The younger one has already attended and gone. ठीक है. Everyone has his or her story. समझ गया ना? Okay. Shall we? Doubt is clear? Everyone? Point H. किसका? Common points about? Hello? Bilateral. I hope you are with me and at least that as far as that is concerned. Common points about bilateral relief. Every DTAA is going to contain something called a non-discrimination clause. Every DTAA will contain something called a non-discrimination clause. Is DTAA an agreement between two governments? Is it like a contract, therefore agreement enforceable by law? So in this contract, both governments are making each other a promise. You know, DTAA is like shake hands, high five, promise. Promise क्या? What is that promise? Supposedly India doing agreement with Germany. India, Germany. Me India, you Germany. Me India, you Germany. Hi Germany. बोलो hi India. Hi Germany. I promise Germany that whenever I will levy any income tax on Germans, it won't be more than Indians. The tax that we will apply on your country ka people, for my country they are non-residents. Your country ka people in my country are non-residents. This tax will not be, what is the promise? This tax will not be higher than the tax we apply on residents. Tax on non-resident will not be higher than resident. मतलब your country का people will not be subjected to, एकदम legal language बोलो, CA final है. You should learn the legal language also. And income tax law is written in that legal English. The tax applicable on non-residents will not be less favorable than residents. Will not be less favorable. We are not saying it will be favorable also. एकदम कम भी नहीं, but at least it won't be less favorable. Or let me talk in some other words. Tax of non-residents will not be prejudicial compared to residents. English. Okay. Non-resident का tax resident से ज्यादा नहीं हो. We will not discriminate against your people compared to our people is a promise that both governments are making towards each other if they put the non-discrimination clause. It is optional. See, ultimately every government we will have a different treaty, no? So putting the clause or not putting the clause is optional. But if they put the clause, then such countries cannot levy tax on non-resident more than resident because it's a promise. But while they make this promise, they also make it clear that this non-discrimination is not going to be applicable to foreign companies. Matlab, for foreign companies, we are allowed to discriminate. First of all, do you know, and I have finished that chapter, do you know, matlab you have to know, that in India, tax rates of foreign companies is 35%. Is that higher than the tax that we apply on domestic company? Domestic company ka rates kya hai? It can be 30. It can be 25. If you go to new regime, it can be 22. It can be 15. All of them, do you understand, are lower than tax rate of foreign companies? We have completed, and to understand all this, it becomes compulsory that I actually have to complete tax rates at the beginning of this syllabus. अभी इस chapter में we will get a calculation. Calculate tax liability after relief. Now, how can you calculate tax without knowing the current year slabs? So we have done this. Are we charging higher tax on foreign companies? This is allowed. This is going to be allowed. So basically, non-discrimination ka benefit is only for non-corporate association. Non-discrimination का benefit is only for non-corporate associates. ये point clear है, everyone? Next, now our government has become really very, very innovative. They say we can now have agreements with non-sovereign territory also. English, non-sovereign territory. See, India has achieved independence August 1947. You want independence from me, you will have to wait till September. पहले से बता, independence from me will come in September. Do you know there are some countries which are even today ruled by kings, rulers, kingdom rulers? They don't have governments. UAE, it is owned by the Sheikh only. Just in case you are not aware. वहाँ पे democracy नहीं है. Of the people, for the people, by the people. Correct? है? Some of these countries don't even have an income tax act. They don't have a government. They don't have income tax act. And if there is no income tax act, please hear me out. Please hear me out. In any country which does not have income tax, we cannot have DTAA. Please digest the statement, understand, so that I can have discussion. We cannot have DTAA if there is no income tax. If there is no tax only in that country, how can we avoid double tax? Ultimately, there will be tax only in India. Correct? So, any country which does not have income tax, we can't have DTAA. But my question is relief the only objective of DTAA? And I have studied, we have studied good amount in bilateral relief to answer that. Is relief the only thing? No. Along with relief, there is a very, very important thing that comes in every DTAA. Exchange of information, assistance in tax collection. Do we want to be friends with each other? Do business with each other? We need agreement for that also. Agreement is not just for saving tax. Agreement is also for exchange of information. Agreement is also for assistance in tax collection. Every time you meet a Guju businessman, you will often hear them saying, Saheb, dhando thaye ke na thaye, sabandh mahatva na che. Don't worry, I will translate. Chill karo, I will translate. I know. Okay, sir, exam ka medium is English. And that also Maharashtra mein you are speaking Gujarati. No, I will translate. what do they say? સાહેબ ધંધો થાય કે ના થાય સંબંધ મહત્વના છે. I'll translate. That they basically are trying to tell you that whether I do business with you or I don't do business with you, our relations are more important. Business is not important. Relation is more important. They don't mean it. Let me be clear. They don't mean it. But they will often say this. And we are applying that philosophy. See, we know when we will not have double taxation relief because that country does not have income tax. But we still want information. What kind of information? Is it possible that some Indians have made investment in that country? Indians have purchased properties. Indians have purchased shares with income that was taxable in India. At least that data that government will give us. We don't want to give relief, but we want information. Correct? Now your question will be, sir, उस government को क्या benefit? India will get income tax का information. They will be useful. That information will be useful in Indian income tax. That government का क्या benefit? Tourism नहीं. You know what? India में income tax is something that government is interested in. That country does not have income tax, but then there can be some people who have committed a crime in that country and are hiding here. Some countries in the world are very, very strict when it comes to sale of drugs. Very, very strict. They give death penalty for sale of drugs. Are you aware? Some countries are very strict as far as drugs are. Who is the biggest drug peddler of the world? Pablo Escobar. Thank God you didn't say Kachra Set. 150 रुपया देखा. Pablo Escobar. पता है? Are you aware some countries are very strict about sale of drugs? Death penalty नहीं है तो I'm telling you. Do you know India में selling drugs is very, very common? Anybody who has studied in Samaya College? बारी मिलता है ना. And I am taking example of your college because we are in this part of the city. Had this lecture been in South Bombay, I would have said Lala College. Her part of the city, there is this one particular college outside which we get drugs openly. अभी इसमें बेंगलोर में कौन सी कॉलेज में है, लखनऊ में कौन सी कॉलेज में है, that you guys find out for your respective city. Nita, from which city you are? So we have someone from Hyderabad, someone from Lucknow, someone from Bangalore. You find out for your respective cities. Okay. But every city there is this one college where drugs are sold. Is it possible that a drug peddler of that country is hiding in India? We can help that country to arrest that particular drug peddler. Cooperation may not be or need not be only for tax purposes. Cooperation can be for various other factors as well. You understand? We can tell that government that you cooperate for tax purposes. India is coming up with a very, very big infrastructure project. We will invite your country to invest in that project and make money in India. And with such governments, we can't have DTAA. We will have an agreement called TIEA. What is that agreement called? TIEA. Tax Information Exchange Agreement. We will have an agreement called TIEA, that is Tax Information Exchange Agreement. ये clear हुआ? Everyone? In fact, our government has also started a new thing, that a specified association in India is now going to be allowed to have an agreement with a specified association outside India. मतलब agreements will no longer be restricted to taxation matters. This is outside taxation. This is beyond taxation. An example which may affect your life, so let me tell you. For example, ICAI, Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, नाम सुना है? Very good. Has an agreement with this association, ACCA, दुबई का CA. By the way, ACCA में totally there are 13 papers. Level 1, level 2, level 3 together there are 13 papers. An Indian chartered accountant has to give only 4 papers. 9 papers का exemption. Indian CA has to give only 4 papers. There is CMA Institute, India का CMA नहीं है. That is Institute of Cost Accountants of India. We are not talking about that. We are talking about UK का CMA Institute. Or there is an institute, American Institute of Certified Public Accountants, CPA. America का CA is called Certified Public Accountant, CPA. Of late, it is often observed that ये commerce pursuing kids are being forcefully pulled out of the chartered accountancy course and are being diverted to these alternate courses. Why? Because these institutes, they see a big market of students in India. Wherever there is population, there is market. And these institutes have invested massive money on the people whom students follow, and they are these influencers. So of late you must have come across some influencers making videos and saying, don't do CA in 2024. For more details, read the caption. I commented on their influencer video. Didi, let us have a healthy debate about past, present or future, na bhuto na bhavishyat. In commerce in India, there was never, there is not, and there will never be a better course than chartered accountants. Challenge, Didi. Our healthy debate will be respectful and let your followers be the audience, because my audience will support me. Let your followers be participants in the debate and let them decide who is making more sense, you or me. Because I have only 2 questions. One, sir, what is cost of all this? Of late, lot of students I see are doing CFA also. There are some students who are not attending the class despite paying full fees because August में they have to give CFA का exam. पहले CFA का exam June में it used to be conducted. I think they have changed the time. August में CFA का exam. There are a few students who are not attending only class. You know what is the cost of pursuing these courses? You know CFA की one exam का fees is equivalent to total cost of becoming CA. Almost equivalent. It can be a little up down, but almost equivalent. And चलो मैं तो बोलता हूँ कि you can afford for an education. One exam fees is 2 lakh rupees. One exam fees. Someone has typed it. Supposingly you have that. You know, sir, we have a lot of money, sir. I am blessed, sir. Very strong background, sir. Take it, pursue CFA, become CFA. Now tell me, where do you have monopoly power? You have knowledge of financial management? Bro, we are running ratio analysis and leverages since we were 17 years. When I sign that balance sheet, that profit and loss account is considered true by the government, by the shareholders, by the banks, by the lenders, by the investors, by the employees, everyone. And I get paid. Bol CFA te ko milta. And by the way, I am making these statements in front of an audience of CA final students. Please understand. If I go to a class 11 ka ya class 12 ka classroom and I start saying that CA is the best course in the country, you can blame me, sir, marketing kar. Sir, you want more admissions. Therefore, you are saying this. 1 minute, this is a CA final classroom. And secondly, you are in my class. Now, if I say CA is the best course, how does it amount to marketing? Just because I said this, will pay me the fees one more time. Second time, this is not marketing. This is the truth. But unfortunately, influencers are purposely diverting students to other courses to spread negativity about the CA course, and the current life condition of you people is such that you accept that negativity as truth. बोला हाँ सर, क्या जिंदगी है सर. Every day morning 7 to 10 class, then 10:30 I have to reach office. 7:15 I come to class, so you start shouting. अरे सर monsoon है तो I get stuck in the rain. What is there to shout? अरे but what you understand कि monsoon में there will be rains only, no? And you have to leave your home with umbrellas. And then 10:30 onwards, that boss in office is shouting at me. Next day morning, I come to class, I have not solved my homework question. Again, you scream at me. Saturday, Sunday, for my practical subject, the class is still going on. FR, maybe some chapters I missed. Yeah, AFM, some chapters I missed. Yeah, I started studying only late. The full day is going away. Sir, morning happens, evening happens, every day is same. I don't even know whether it is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Because for me, all the days are same. Your life has so many troubles right now that you actually trust those influencers. Can I see a course? Yes. Because you don't have the experience of life after CA. वो आएगा in due course, and it is an open challenge. Starting में initial few couple of years, there may be struggle after becoming CA also. Unless you go for job, once with day one, you get fixed salary. If you start something of your own, starting में there may be losses also. But after 5 years of becoming CA, after 10 years of becoming CA, I challenge that you will also tell your children to do CA. Of course, if they ask, these days children do whatever they want, they don't listen to parents. But if your children are confused, they don't know what to do, you will tell them to do CA only. Because you will realize the beauty of CA after you become. You have not become, how will you know what is CA? Any chartered accountant parent will motivate his children to do CA. And just imagine, every time you tell someone, I have done CA or I am doing CA, have you ever observed the difference in the way that person looks at you? Just telling someone that I am doing CA, forget about becoming CA. Because the experienced people in the market outside this classroom are aware of how this is greater than all of them together. After becoming CA, you want to settle in UK, you can pursue ACCA. You want to settle in Gulf countries, you can pursue ACCA. You want to settle in America, you can pursue CPA. But that is post-qualification as a CA. This is basically your ladder to go and do anything else. See, you first learn ABCD, then you learn Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. No? Otherwise, how will you know Twinkle Twinkle starts with TKJ? This is the ABCD of anything in commerce. Anything in commerce. Okay? But avoiding that discussion, point is simple. Today, ICAI has become such a powerful body globally. It is the largest accounting body in the world. Such a powerful body that ICAI actually has convinced most of these organizations to grant you exemptions in their papers. Once you are an Indian chartered accountant, of late most popular going on is ACCA only. Most CA coaching classes, knowing that CA final students now no longer come to class, maybe you have to motivate them a lot. You often observe most CA coaching classes are now marketing only their ACCA classes. Observe karna. ICAI has convinced all of them. Are you aware that if you are an Indian chartered accountant, you can actually go and practice in Singapore without giving a single exam? ये पता है? CA Institute of India has a tie-up with CA Institute of Singapore. Every Indian CA is open to practice over there. Full exemption, not a single paper. How does that work? How is it possible? It is because of this agreement. See, the agenda was not to make you, that CA best है, best है, best है. You know CA best. You know na, that CA best है. Because whether you say it or you don't say it, you have come all the way here now. You have to do it. There is no reverse gear now. Abhi, it is like jump the wall, go on the other side, or keep banging your head. What's your choice? You have to go. और ये best है. And the other exams में you will have the benefit once you have your CA degree, because ICAI does have an agreement with these other associations. आप समझा क्या? Hello? Fantastic. Next. So, treaty can be government, treaty can be with king, treaty can be association by association also. Last 2 points under bilateral. Some years ago, they added this point. that whenever treaty का benefit will be given, क्या बोला bro? Whenever treaty का benefit will be given, we will prevent misuse done by whom? Any misuse done by resident of third countries. Sir, क्या बोल रहे हो? We are not understanding anything. Listen, every time there is a complicated point and I give you an example of that point by making a story, remember that blindly copying these board notes are not enough. This is not enough. Huh? इस साइड में वो छोटा सा एग्जाम्पल, फॉर एग्जाम्पल नाउ आई एम गिविंग यू एन एग्जाम्पल ऑफ इंडिया, जर्मनी, ऑस्ट्रेलिया. बस इतना इफ यू हैव रिटर्न, तो while revising you will recollect the example that I gave you in class. क्या है? There is an agreement between India and Germany, India and Germany, India and Germany, India and Germany. Treaty. Will Indians get benefit under that treaty? क्या stupid question I'm asking. Will Germans get benefit for Indo-German treaty? And what about Australians? Question is simple. Will an Australian get tax benefit under India-Germany treaty? क्या फालतू क्वेश्चन है आस्किंग? ऑब्वियसली नहीं. बट ऑस्ट्रेलियंस आर नोन टू बी चीटर्स. ये हमको मालूम है ना. यू नो, इवन इफ इंडिया इज नॉट प्लेइंग, बट एवरी टाइम ऑस्ट्रेलिया और पाकिस्तान लूजेस, वी गेट सम इंटरनल हैप्पीनेस. ऑस्ट्रेलियंस आर ऑलवेज चीटर्स. सैंड पेपर, बॉल टेम्परिंग इन ऑल वेज. तो एक ऑस्ट्रेलियन डिसाइडेड टू डू चीटिंग हियर आल्सो. सपोजिंगली संजना, शी इज एन ऑस्ट्रेलियन. अरे एग्जांपल है बाबा. नाउ देखो, इफ यू सिट राइट इन फ्रंट ऑफ मी, तो द पर्सन सिटिंग राइट इन फ्रंट ऑफ मी इज फर्स्ट इन टारगेट व्हेन इट कम्स टू टेकिंग एग्जांपल्स. तो संजना इज एन ऑस्ट्रेलियन. संजना सुन, आर यू एलिजिबल फॉर ट्रीटी बेनिफिट ऑफ इंडिया जर्मनी ट्रीटी? नो, बिकॉज यू आर नॉट इंडियन और जर्मन. बट चीटिंग करना डिसाइड किया ना. तो व्हाट संजना डिड? शी केम टू इंडिया एज अ टूरिस्ट. She went to a very, very rural village where real estate is very, very cheap. She took a small office on rent over there. She did the rental agreement, leave and license. And in villages, the rent will be too less. That office was taken on rent, locked, and Sanjana has gone back. Kidhar? Australia. Correct? Now she is doing business with Germany. So will she get benefit of India-German treaty? Yes. Because when someone asked her, Sanjana, which country you belong to? She says India. How prove karo you belong to India? She is showing that leave and license agreement of that office which is taken on rent and kept locked forever. Residents of the third country are projecting themselves artificially as resident of one of the two treaty countries and artificially taking benefit of such a treaty which they are not eligible. By doing what? As a temporary office which has never been used, taking it on rent, creating fake papers. This point is basically an instruction to all tax officers in the country that listen, assessing officers, if any treaty benefit is taken, please do an investigation that the assessee belongs to one of the two countries and is not a resident of a third country who is misusing the treaty. In international tax language, this is also known as treaty abuse. क्या बोलते हैं इसको? Treaty abuse. You are manipulating, misusing benefit of treaty by changing your identity. Now you are able to understand misuse prevention. Hello. Pakka? Fantastic. And the last point, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, dear viewers and gentlemen, last point under bilateral relief. Bilateral relief. If treaty benefit is taken by non-resident in India, देखो, you are non-resident in India. So first tell me, how will tax in India arise if you are non-resident? Source, very good, very smart and very fast. then how will double taxation arise? That country you are resident. Matlab, you are resident of a foreign country, source in India. Let's be clear, who is this? Resident of foreign country, therefore non-resident in India. And what is triggering tax in India? Source. How to give treaty benefit? We go and read the treaty and listen to what is written in the treaty. Listen. Treaty bolta hai that tax will go to home country. Treaty says what? Tax will go to home country. So as per treaty, you have to pay tax in home country. So then tell me, in our example, which country you will have to pay tax? Indian ke foreign country? Foreign country. That means India is your host country, and in India you don't have to pay tax. Correct? Why? Because India mein you are a non-resident. Therefore, there will be no tax in India. But for this, there is a condition. Only if you obtain something called a TRC, that is a tax residency certificate from that country. You guys seem to have done a lot of work of DTAA practical life. Almost everyone shouted TRC, tax residency certificate. 15 CAC भी नहीं है रे पागल, that is repatriation, foreign currency का payment है वो. That is payment का certificate. Repatriation में TRC वो नहीं है. लगता है that is okay. But TRC के बारे में you know anything other than the full form? ठीक है, no problem. See, understand. You are resident in a foreign country. You are going to pay tax in that country as per treaty. So India will grant you relief, but India will grant you relief only if you prove. Yeah. How will you prove this? By getting a tax residency certificate. Logic se bada kuch nahi. Nothing is bigger than logic. Now, if I tell you why this came, you might have filled the forms in office, you said the full form of tax residency certificate. Lekin, why was this introduced? Your office never told you. There are some people who are really very, very smart. Very smart. They have knowledge of income tax laws of all the countries. Every country has got some rules of making you resident. For example, India has 182 days, 63, 65 days. Similar rules exist in all different countries. Come on. These people plan their full year in such a way that they spend a few days in multiple countries and do not cross the residential status time limit in any country and end up becoming non-resident in all the countries. Do you understand? Every country I am becoming a non-resident by exploiting my number of days. Correct? And as per treaty, which country will take tax? Home country. He does not have any home country. So India he is saying, sir, this is my source country. I will pay tax in the other country. And that country also saying, I will pay tax in India. Both countries he is not paying tax. Because he is becoming non-resident in both. I mean, India ka problem kya hai? India knows that if they have promised to grant relief, they will have to. But provided you prove that you have paid tax in that country. And how will you prove that you have paid tax in that country? By bringing from that country a tax residency certificate. So, if you are a resident of some other country and you have paid tax in that country, the relief will be given only and only if you have submitted your TRC as a proof that you have paid tax in that country. Then India does not have a problem granting you the relief. Make sense? To stop people from manipulation, they had to bring this. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was your concept of bilateral relief. It actually is given in the treaty, the calculation. Treaties are not a part of our syllabus. Only common point discuss karte we have come all the way here. But with this, we complete the concept of bilateral relief. We now have to only consider and complete the second concept of the chapter. Before I start this concept, I will give you a bad news. And the news is so bad that you will want to throw things at me. You are carrying anda tomato in your bag, eggs, tomatoes. Aisa? You know, you want to hit the ek kaam karo, suno. Eggs you don't bring, tomatoes are expensive. ऐसे you travel no, तो local train के track पे से you can pick up some stones. चप्पल है, अच्छा ये भी ठीक है. नहीं, pointed stones are better because what I am going to say now is going to trigger some anger in you. Bilateral relief where we spend over 2 hours, it will never come in exam. Sir, yaar, those sitting online are so upset. No, they want to, ek kaam karo na. You can see me on the screen, no? Break that screen. Throw that device on the ground, break it into pieces. That's the only way you can damage me in an online class. Therefore, I say, those who have taken offline admissions, please come to class. So things will become, convenient for you. I told you DTAA question comes in every exam. But bilateral never comes. So फिर all questions in CA exams, CA final exams come on this concept, unilateral relief under section 91. One of the most important concepts of your entire syllabus for exam point of view. Because every exam there will be question on unilateral relief under section 91. When will unilateral relief get triggered? Whenever there is non-cooperation between the two governments. If that government is not ready to enter into a treaty with us, and as already said in today's class only, there are even today about 80 countries in the world with which India does not have a treaty. That means, listen, if supposingly Hardik ke case mein whatever we discussed, tax credit method, tax exemption method, it was assuming that India has agreement with Switzerland. But supposingly India does not have an agreement with Switzerland. So do you realize the tax that Switzerland is taking, we can't do anything about that. That is not in our control because we don't have cooperation with that government. India is now telling you what, Hardik, that, see Hardik, that country is taking tax, it's not in our control. We can give you some relief from the tax that you have to pay to us. And what is that amount? 30. From 30 we can give you some relief. Hello? You understand? We can give you some relief from the tax of 30. And that relief is given only by one government. Only government of India is taking the initiative, and thus such relief will be known as, called as unilateral relief. You understand the meaning of unilateral relief? Before we go to the calculation, you have to fulfill some conditions. Unilateral relief will be available only to those who fulfill these conditions. Matlab, you can't calculate relief directly. First, you will have to check. If conditions fulfilled, then give relief. If conditions not fulfilled, no unilateral. In section 91, they have given you 4 conditions. A, B, C, D. That means you have to fulfill how many conditions to get unilateral relief? 4. You have to learn how many therefore? 4. Check in the exam paper how many conditions? 4. While they say 4, honestly speaking, only the first condition is the actual condition that you should learn. The remaining 3 are not conditions, they are time pass. Whether you learn them or you don't learn them, you won't be affected. If at all you have to take home something for exam perspective, if you check something, मैं क्या बोल रहा हूँ? Okay, do like this. Whenever you have any question, just check this. No need to check this. If this is fulfilled, give unilateral relief. And the main condition, the only condition is that unilateral relief will be given to only and only and only residents. Means unilateral relief will not be given to non-residents. मतलब सुनो, non-resident disqualified from higher basic exemption. Senior citizens का Non-resident disqualified from rebate under section 87A. Non-resident disqualified from unilateral rebate. ये law है, law. What is the logic? What is the logic? Why? Sir, if I have to call myself the best in my subject across the country, only if you pay attention and don't scribble in class, then only I can become the best in my subject. See, I cannot call myself the best in my subject across the country if you are not the best. I am best only if you are best. I am best only if you score more than others. And traditionally, historically, my students have never disappointed me. Multiple times I have had students who have scored in direct tax even more than AIR 1. Leaving other teachers and coaching classes with no other option but they have to do marketing that my student got all India rank 1 without showing their direct tax marks. Any coaching class claiming AIR 1, any individual subject ka teacher claiming AIR 1, coaching class can still claim because all subjects taught. Just ask that teacher, sir, aapke subject ka marks kitna? Only ask that much. And quite often you will find that direct tax mein our students are scoring more than AIR 1, 2, 3 also. Why? Because we don't study this law for giving the exam. Exam is important. ऐसा नहीं कि सर ठीक है खाली ऐसे ऑफिस के लिए सिखा दो छोड़ो एग्जाम नहीं. Exam is obviously important, but primary target is why is this law written like this? What is the reason? If I am saying this is available to resident, that means not available to non-resident. Sir, why? देखो, resident will have double taxation when his source is in foreign country. Think about it. And non-resident will have double taxation when source is in India. So resident is going to foreign country and bringing the money here. Non-resident is coming to India and taking the money from here. Difference also. When you bring foreign money to India, we are very happy. We want to encourage. If that government does a treaty with us, we give you relief as per treaty. If that government is not doing treaty with us, to hell with the government. We love you, resident. We will give you the relief because you are bringing foreign money. Now talk about non-resident. He is taking away the money from you. If your government cooperates, we don't mind giving you relief also. Under bilateral, we have to give. But if your government does not cooperate, so to hell with you, to hell with your government. If you are taking away Indian money, pay tax, get lost. Resident is bringing foreign money, non-resident is taking away Indian money. You have to understand the difference. Nothing is bigger than logic. Nothing is bigger than logic. You understood why? Only resident. And this is the only condition. You have my permission. When you solve a question, don't check anything else. On paper, I will tell you the remaining 3 conditions, but don't check, no problem. तुम समझा क्या? Okay. What are the other 3 conditions? Condition in comedy. They are saying unilateral relief will be given only if you have income outside India. Lol. नहीं तो double taxation कैसे? If you are resident, then for double taxation income has to be outside India. नहीं तो double taxation ही नहीं है. Very good. They further clarify, you have paid tax outside India. Matlab, the foreign income that you are earning should be taxable in that foreign country. Supposingly that foreign country does not have income tax. So income hai, but tax nahi. So no relief. Arey bro, I don't want relief because there is no double taxation. These 2 conditions together trigger double taxation. Think about it. Tabhi to I am asking for relief. No? So condition relevant for exam is only resident. And last, you will get unilateral relief if there is no DTAA. मतलब you know what they are saying. सुन. अगर DTAA है ना, DTAA है ना, so you won't get unilateral. What is your reaction? ए पागल, I will take. Come on, bilateral. So obviously unilateral question will arise only if there is. I told you they are not conditions, they are comedy. So learning purpose and exam purpose, all you check is resident. Understood? Now, how does this calculation work? Once you fulfill the conditions. How does unilateral work? I will do with you at least 2 examples to make you understand the concept. And by the way, the calculation of relief here is not dependent on any external document, any treaty. This calculation of relief is in section 91 of Income Tax Act. Obviously, it is in your syllabus. Treaty is not in syllabus. Section 91 है syllabus में. So you have to study this calculation. Example, Mr. S, who is a resident, age 37 years. Age is important. क्या बोल रहे हैं सर, खुद का एग्जाम्पल दे. तो हाँ, मेरा, आई एम नॉट टेकिंग माई एग्जाम्पल. नो, इफ इट वाज माई एग्जाम्पल आई वुड हैव टेकन 22. तो नाटक मत कर. ओके, यू आर यंगर देन मी ओनली इन आधार कार्ड. टॉक अबाउट एनीथिंग एल्स. लुक्स में, मेंटालिटी में दिखाई क्या? नहीं दिख रहा है. चल, लेट्स हैव अ फिजिकल एक्टिविटी. लेट्स रन अ रेस. लेट्स हैव अ फिस्ट फाइट. लेट्स डू एनी स्पोर्ट. देखते हु विंस. फिजिकली एंड मेंटली आई एम मच यंगर देन यू. तो डोंट आर्ग्यू. अबे 37 years, see 0 to 59 सबका स्लैब से. And it is important for me to give you the, come on, the age so that you know what basic exemption to apply. So age 37 years. He is giving you details. He has got Indian income of rupees 8 lakh and he has got income in country X 7 lakh. अब country X में he has source. If he has source, तो country X will levy tax on him. Country X has applied tax of 8% on the 7 lakh that he has. मतलब what is rate of tax in that country? 8% applied on 7 lakh. ठीक है? And the main problem in the life of Mr. S today is that India does not have a double taxation avoidance agreement with country X. There is no DTAA. This is data as per question. A question का data. There is no agreement between India and country X. ये data given by question. A question. Everyone is with me? चलो understand करते हैं. First, we will check is there a double taxation. 8 lakh is taxable in India. Residence and source. And is 8 lakh taxable in country X? No, because neither residence nor source. So till now there is no double taxation. 7 lakh is taxable in country X. The question is giving you rate of tax also. Is this 7 lakh taxable in India? क्या yes, it is that country का income. हाँ, but resident तो global income. That means is Mr. S paying tax on 7 lakh in India as well as country X? Same person, same income, getting taxed twice. Juridical double taxation. Therefore, relief. Come on. How to calculate that relief? उसके लिए the section 91 has given some steps. I will tell you the steps along with the logic of those steps. Step number 1. You calculate the total income in India. My question is, will total income in India include Indian income or foreign income? Both. Global income because you are resident. Step number 2. Calculate the tax in India on the above income, assuming no relief. Therefore, relief we will calculate. But before relief, how much tax is coming? And do you know that for paying tax in India, there are 2 options? Old and new. Now listen. When we have exemptions and deductions, then old regime mein 15 lakh minus those deductions would have become my entity. But when I don't have data of any exemption deduction, do you understand NTTI as per old and new is coming as same? Then new will be better. See, if we have deductions, so we have to compare different amounts on different tax rates. But here, the same amount and new will only be better. Therefore, solve as per 115 BAC. Solve as per 115. Solve as per 115 BAC. How much is tax in India? Basic exemption will be 2,50,000, 4 lakh new regime. तो करना ब्रो करना. 1,05,000. How? 12 lakh तक 60,000 आया and 3 lakh का 15%, 45. 1,05,000. Wrong answer. So when you are asked to calculate tax, basic tax can never be your answer. After basic tax, is this assessee eligible for rebate? No, because income is exceeding 12 lakh. New regime 12 lakh. Surcharge. अरे income 10 लाख क्रॉस किया ना. हाँ अरे सर it has to cross 50 not 15. No surcharge. But cess आएगा ना तो add 4%. How much do you get? 1,09,200. Very easy. Till now nothing great. Not total income and total tax before relief. Step number 3 is the most important step of the entire concept. If you understand step number 3, you majorly understood what is relief under section. Step number 3 is basically telling us, kindly find out what is the average rate of tax in India. The problem is, when we calculated 1,09,200, some portion was calculated at 0, certain amount was 5%, certain amount was 15%, then with cess also changed. But do you realize total tax on 15 lakh is 109,200? So on an average, what rate of tax we are paying? In other words, on 15 lakh, if I apply that rate, I will directly get my 109,200. How to find out average rate of tax? Do you understand? Tax upon income into 100 will be my average rate of tax. 2 decimals you will always write. Whenever you solve this question, write it in 2 decimals. What is the average rate of tax in India? 7.28%. Understand the relevance of average rate of tax. This is the entire concept. On 15 lakh ka income in India, if I apply 7.28%, I will directly get my total tax liability. Do you understand? That means, do you agree with the statement that in India, I am paying tax of 7.28% on my total income of 15 lakh? You agree? Next statement. That means in India, I am paying tax of 7.28% on this also and this also. Because iska 7.28% plus iska 7.28% is the 15 lakh 7.28. Correct? But the 7.28 which I am paying on this is being paid only in India because it is not taxed in that country. So on this I won't get anything. But the 7.28 which I am paying on this, is this same amount also subjected to tax in the foreign country? That means on this amount, what is the tax in India? 7.28%. And what is the tax in the foreign country? 8%. And here is the concept of unilateral relief. That the tax that you have paid in India or the tax that you have paid in the foreign country, Indian tax or foreign tax, whichever is lower will become your relief. Foreign ka tax can be calculated easily because income and rate they will have to always give. So if we have to find out how much is foreign tax, very easy. But Indian tax karna difficult. I'll tell you why. Because India mein tax does not apply on 8 lakh or 7 lakh. India mein tax applies on total 15 lakh. That total 15 lakh ka some portion went in 0. Now the question is, in my basic exemption of 4 lakh, I have sent money from 8 lakh to 7 lakh. We can never find out. Which amount went in my basic exemption? Which amount went in 10%? Last में 15% में which amount came? 8 lakh में से came के 7 lakh? We can't decide. There is no name written on money. Hello, Sonam Gupta बेवफा है. Money पे there is no name written. I hope you understand. So how to then decide Indian tax rate? Average basis. We have to assume that total income is subjected to the flat rate of 7.28. Matlab, do you understand? This also 7.28, this also 7.28. But do you realize that relief won't be given on 8 lakh ka tax? Why? Because that income has not been taxed twice. Relief will be given only on 7 lakh ka tax. And this is a very, very important step. This decides it. You understood average rate of tax? So, if I now ask you what is rate of tax in India, so your answer is, and this you compare with foreign tax rate. What is the foreign tax rate? It is always going to be given to you in the question. If you get a question on unilateral relief without foreign tax rate, that means question has error. Question is wrong. Write a note to the paper checker. Salechor, why do you ask such questions? Why do you ask such questions that even you don't know the answer? I pray to God that your children give more difficult exams and never pass. Such में मत लिखना. See, don't say that, sir, we blindly follow all your instructions and therefore you said it, so we wrote it. You blindly follow all my instructions. You come at 7:15, matlab you are not following my instructions. So never say that you are blindly following my instructions. Nahin na? Otherwise, you want to take a chance, ऐसे disclaimer तो you get. They will always give you foreign tax rate. So now do we have Indian rate? Come on. Do we have foreign rate? So what is lower of the two? Look at the stupidity. I am asking you to check 7.28 and 8 में lower क्या? So if you observe carefully, step number 4 and step number 5 require no effort. If there is effort required, it is only in average rate of tax. Correct? And here is where you have your answer. Very, very easy. What is relief under section 91? If I talk about logic is Indian tax or foreign tax, whichever is lower. Indian tax or foreign tax, whichever is lower. Lower matlab lower rate 7.28 in the example. But how will we calculate? Abhi words mein dekho. We will take the doubly taxed income that was included in NTTI. What was NTTI of this assessment? 15 lakh. Is correct? In this, how much income was subjected to double tax? That means we won't get relief on 15. We will get relief only on 7 lakh. And at what rate? At the lower wala rate. So doubly taxed income included in NTTI 7 lakh into the lower of the two rates 7.28%. Hello. Doubly taxed income included in NTTI into the lower rate is my relief under section 91. Indian tax or foreign tax, whichever is lower, but on that income which has been doubly taxed. And lower rate in India you take average and foreign ka they will give you. Understood? So what is your relief? 50,960 is it? So no, this is what my relief. Now you will have to check question is asking what. Question can ask you relief. You stop here. Don't show extra knowledge because person who is checking your paper does not have that knowledge. That person is comparing from a sheet of suggested answers. But if the question is asking you only and only if asked, what is your final tax? Then you will do what? One more step. You want to guess how to calculate final tax? No. हाँ तो करना. Step 2 is the tax liability before relief. Hello, 109,200. But we decided to give this assessee relief on the basis of the calculation 50,000. So after relief, this will become your final tax liability. That you will do only if asked. And MCQs में तो institute plays such dirty games. मतलब, you know, one small mistake here and there and you lose marks. Yeah, ये amount कितना आ रहा है? Tell me that. I want to explain what I'm saying. 58,240. Correct? Now, They will ask you a question like this, SN. This much data they are giving you in MCQ. And question is saying compute final tax liability. That means you have to do everything. Is this your final answer? Matlab, this will definitely be one of the options. You know what? One of the other options is going to be 50,960. Understand what they are doing? You do everything. You reach up to the relief wala amount. You get an amount 5960. You can see that in the options. Option C 5960. Yes. No. Option D 58240 is the answer. If they ask relief, then 5960 is your answer. And if they ask final tax, then 58240 is your answer. You have to give the answer on the basis of what they are asking. And for that, you need to read the question properly. Now, you can throw things around, but institute will ask questions like that. What can we do? You understood? Be very careful. Have you understood the calculation of it? What is the only thing that you check? Assessee is a resident. Once assessee is a resident, what is the logic? Indian tax or foreign tax? Indian tax or foreign tax, whichever is lower. But Indian tax will be computed on average basis and foreign tax will be given. Choose whichever is lower and apply on total income. Total income. Apply on doubly taxed income included in entity. Is that clear, everyone? Just one more example. A more complicated example on the concept of unilateral relief. Concept and chapter over. Just one more complicated example for better practice, because this comes in every exam. And honestly speaking, example 1 type ka question will not come. Example 2 type ka complicated question. So, Mr. S, resident, 37 years, is having Indian income 30 lakhs. He is having foreign income 12 lakhs. Country X लिख दो चलेगा? Country X. On this foreign income, country X is levying 18% tax. Foreign income पे country X is levying how much percent tax? 18%. That question has to give you. His life ka problem is that India does not have double taxation avoidance agreement. If you observe carefully, the data that I have given you in the second example majorly resembles the first example, except the amounts. Yeah, maybe that foreign rate of tax. And here, your reaction can be, sir, ye kya? To same step हुआ ना? Total income, total tax, average rate, foreign rate, whichever is low. There is one extra piece of info that I will now give you, which will change the concept. The question specifies, everyone pay attention. Till now, the example is same as example. The question specifies that ये जो foreign का income है, amount of rupees 12 lakh is basically royalty on copyrights. What is that income? Royalty on copyright. Mr. S is an author, very famous author. He writes 7 books per annum on direct taxes. 5 for final, 2 for intern. Very famous. So famous that people study in other coaching classes, then they again take admission. कौन से दुनिया में you are lost? Wake up. You are either scribbling or you are thinking about something else. You are definitely only physically in class. पढ़ाई के बारे में नहीं, डायरेक्ट टैक्स के एग्जाम्पल के बारे में सोचना है. पढ़ाई तो लॉ भी है, कॉस्टिंग भी है. रॉयल्टी ऑन कॉपीराइट के बारे में, do you have any idea as far as the taxation is concerned? That whenever we earn royalty on copyrights as an author from the publication house, up to a maximum of 3 lakh rupees, you get a deduction under section 80QQB. Now, I am not teaching you 80QQB right now. I am not even assuming that you know it from inter, irrespective of where you studied inter, because any assumption is dangerous for me. If I have taught you at inter and I ask you about 80QQB and you give the wrong answer, you will not lose any respect because you don't have voice. आपकी इज्जत नहीं जाएगी क्योंकि है भी नहीं. तो आई विल नॉट टेक दैट चांस. One day when I do chapter 6 का chapter, which I am going to do with you. So if you think, sir, I was very good at inter, I got an exemption, I got itna mark, utna mark, you have forgotten 80 क्यों? एक कैलकुलेशन था. Actual received, if given in percentage, तो maximum 15. If foreign country, then forex repatriated within the time limit, whichever is lower will become qualifying amount. Qualifying amount minus expenditure incurred will be my deduction, but restricted to maximum of 3 lakh rupees. Specific income related deduction. Normally chapter 6 का expense related deduction like life insurance, medical insurance, you can take against this also, because they are expenditure related deduction. But when it comes to an income related deduction, if I am eligible for 80 QQB, I can't subtract this 3 lakh from 30 lakhs. I will have to subtract it from 12 lakh only. And how is this going to affect my relief calculation? चलो वो समझने का कोशिश करते हैं. Ultimately, we are asked tax liability. Correct है? Step number 1. अच्छा, by the way, देख लेते हैं, is he eligible for unilateral relief? For unilateral relief, we check only one thing. क्या? Because the other conditions, income outside India, tax outside India, no DTAA are obvious. Hello? So step number 1. What is step number 1? Total income in India. What do you think is the total income? Last time it was 8 plus 7, 15. What do you think is the total income? क्या लगता है आपको? तो वो क्या आता है आफ्टर डिडक्शन? मतलब जो आता है, मतलब 39. रॉन्ग आंसर. कैसे? 30 plus 12 minus 3 equal to what? हाँ, as per old regime it will be 39 lakh and as per new regime it will be 42 lakh because new regime में chapter 6 से deduction not allowed. You understood? You have to calculate both. Old regime में 39 lakh, new regime में 42. Sir, where has 3 lakh gone away in the old regime? Chapter 6 take a deduction. ये clear है? Now step number 2. What is going to be your tax in India? Now do you realize you will have to calculate इसका tax and इसका tax. खाली calculate tax. Benefit क्या है that I will tell you. Old regime में it will be, you will need age. Old regime में age is required for basic exemption. So how much you are applying? 30%. 30% किस पे आ रहा है old regime? 29 lakh का 30% plus 1,12,500 plus 4% cess. No surcharge because up to 50 lakhs. तो effective answer क्या है? Tax as per old regime. Come on. 10 lakh 29 10 lakh 21,800. Correct है? चलो. And new regime में you are applying खाली इतना बोलो 30% on what? About 24. मतलब वो कितना है? 18 lakh का 30%, 5 lakh 40 plus 3 lakh. वो फाइनल आंसर नहीं है. तो करो 840 plus 3%, 8 lakh 70. Everyone is clear about this calculation, no doubt. Old regime का slab from the old वाला income and new regime का slab from the new वाला income. सुनो, साई bro, you can't choose this as your tax liability. You know why? Because this is a temporary calculation. There is going to be some relief from this. There is going to be some relief from this. After calculating relief, I will get my tax liability, and there I will choose whichever is the calculation. Understand? ये tax ज़्यादा है. Is this tax higher? So average rate also higher. Average rate higher. So the quantum of deduction, the quantum of relief that we will get can also be higher. So you will not compare your tax year, you will compare your final answer. Matlab the example will continue in old and new both. What is our step number 3? Most important step. Average rate of tax, which is nothing but 10, 21, 800 divided by 39 lakh into 100 and 873, 600 divided by 42 lakh into 100. So 2 decimals. 2 decimals. 20 round figure. Very good. 20.8. तो वो भी 80 ही होता है. No problem. By the way, if there are more decimals, you will take till 2 decimals. Now what? What is the next step? This is the tax that you paid in India. Now do what? Compare this with foreign rate. What is foreign rate? 18%. Now, foreign rate could have been 25 also. Understand? If foreign rate was 25, so here 25 will become answer, but here 20 will become answer. चलो एक काम करता हूँ. I purposely want to make the example more complicated. Let us make the foreign rate 25. Let us make the foreign rate 25. So that all complications will become clear. Foreign rate 25%. Okay. What is the next step? Whichever is lower. I want to purposely take an example where different answers are in old regime, which is lower, that is foreign rate, and in new regime, Indian rate. So relief you will get as per whichever is lower. Correct? Everything that we have done till now was very easy, except the one mistake that you made, that you have to calculate NTTI as per both regimes. Only 39 was wrong, only 42 was wrong, both answers. Correct? Here comes the most important step. By the way, this step is only our answer. क्या है वो? What is going to be relief under section 91? चलो इसके अंदर I will help you a little help I will little help. Okay? यहाँ पे the relief will be calculated at 25% because we have chosen whichever is lower, and here the relief will be calculated at, no doubt about that, but the question is on what amount? On what amount? 12 lakhs both. Old में एक minute. First let's talk about new regime. It is easy. In new regime, have you paid tax on full amount? So is 12 lakh getting doubly taxed? The new regime में तो कोई confusion नहीं है. I think no one will say 9 lakh for both. New regime is तो very easy. In old regime, what is foreign income? 12 lakh, no? So why are you guys still saying 9 lakh? I want to know the reason. Lot of students in the class, see, those who are saying 12 lakh, I understand your answer. Sir, foreign income 12 lakh, take 12. You may have taken 12. Old maybe you are saying 12. But let us understand why some students are saying 9. Why? Because, एक काम करो, come to example 1, where I gave you definition of relief. And check this. And check the words here. Included. Under the old regime, when I took my NTTI, how much is that NTTI here in the old regime? 39 lakh. This 39 lakh includes Indian income full 30 lakhs. But when it came to the foreign income, I took 12. But from that 12 I have taken deduction. So in the final answer 39, I don't have full 12 lakh. In the final answer 39, I have only this, ladies and gentlemen. This is the reason why I did the second example for you. This is the reason why I did the second example for you. आप समझा क्या? You understood? The doubly taxed income included in NTTI will be taken. While completion of this question now becomes very easy, there are quite a few points that I have to discuss with you. तो पहले एक काम करें. एक मिनट. Everyone is clear? New regime में full 12 is included, but old regime में against that income I have taken deduction, and therefore in NTTI I have only 9 lakh. So fatapat, let's complete then. All the doubts that are still coming in your mind now, I know all those doubts, and I am ready with the answers. I look 18, but I am completing 15 years next month. But let's complete this first. I will answer all your doubts. यहाँ का relief will be 2,25,000, 2,49,600. Do you realize here the relief is coming higher? It could have been any amount. So you making a comparison of the two tax liabilities here is not the correct thing. You have to compare your tax, your final tax, which is going to be nothing but step 2 minus step 6. Exam में do final tax only fast. 10,21,800 minus 2,25,000. Example 1. 7,69,800. You're doing this minus this, right? And this minus this. 6 lakh. हे भगवान 624 ये 42 तो नहीं फाइनल आंसर लेडीज एंड जेंटलमैन obviously whichever is beneficial. Clear? Sorted? Okay. Have you understood why in the new regime we took only, why in the old regime sorry we took only 9 lakh for relief purpose? Because we have taken deduction. But so come here please, everyone come to the example. You realize that when I took this 39 lakh I have subtracted the 3 lakh and thus for relief I have taken 9 lakh. But for relief I have taken 9 lakh because the deduction that was given here was such a deduction that can be taken only against, please understand, that particular foreign income. Supposingly this deduction of 3 lakh was not 80 QQB, this was 80C, 80D, 80U, all of them together becoming 3 lakh. My expenditure related deduction, my other deduction, if it was 3 lakh of those sections, not 80 QQB. So, 1 minute. Can I take 80C, 80D against any income? Or am I supposed to take it compulsorily against 12 lakh? So, supposingly 3 lakh was 80C can't be 3 lakh. So, 80C, 80D, 80U all put together. Then I will subtract that 3 lakh against this. And for relief, I will take full 12 lakh. In this question, it was not possible because the deduction was specifically related to that 12 lakh per income. And thus, here, the 3 lakh has to be subtracted only against this 12 lakh. Had it been expenditure related deduction, so it is assumed adjusted against Indian income and foreign income fully eligible. Is that clear? First doubt clear? In our example, we took against foreign income because income related deduction. Is this clear? Okay, second. Sir, अगर Indian income भी royalty होता तो I have had some really talented students in the past. Sir, if Indian income was also royalty, that means 30 lakh and 12 lakh both royalty. 3 lakh is the total deduction. This time I will give preference to take the deduction against, use your brain, Indian income, because that income is also eligible. So first I will adjust against Indian income. So again full 12 lakh will be eligible for me. Matlab expenditure related, adjust against Indian income. If Indian income is also eligible, so adjust income against Indian income. And then I met another very bright student who one day asked me, sir, deduction 3 lakh. What if Indian income is 1 lakh? And my 80C is 1,50,000. First preference against Indian income because I want full foreign to be eligible. So 1 lakh I will adjust here. But then 50,000 I will have to adjust here. And then for relief I will take 1150. Supposingly it is 1 lakh plus 12 lakh and 80 QQB ka 3 lakh. So again first I will take against 1 lakh if this is also royalty. Then balance 2 lakh I will have to take here. Then relief on 10 lakh. New regime mein to full 12 will come. We are only talking about old regime. Or let us summarize like this. This will become your general rule. Always give preference to deduction against old regime if eligible. Old regime, sorry. Always give preference against Indian income if that Indian income is eligible. Then first take deduction against Indian income. If it is not possible to take against Indian income, why? Maybe because it is income related. Maybe because Indian income is over. So balance deduction you can take against. Balance deduction you can take against foreign income and reduce the eligibility of that foreign income. But first preference will always be given to Indian income. ये clear है? Everyone? पक्का? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, congratulations, badai ho, abhinandan. Because what if I tell you, we are actually done with the second chapter of our syllabus. बस ऐसे ही हंसते खेलते we have to finish 41 chapters more. Of course, ये second chapters का questions will be done on. ये Saturday का तो we have only no extra 1 hour. अच्छा ये नहीं था, ये सब you remember बराबर से. तो point ये है that Monday morning ये सब याद है कि सर you said not from this Saturday बाद में, ठीक है बराबर है. तो मंडे को आई विल बी डूइंग क्वेश्चंस. वो डिपेंड करेगा, यू नो सम पीपल आर लाइक अच्छा सुबह सुबह क्वेश्चन करेगा, ठीक है, तो आई विल लॉग इन एट 8 o'clock. I will come to class at 8:30. I may not do questions first. I will start maybe the first your next chapter first, maybe 1.5 2 hours, and then last में I will do questions. तो just like you remember ना सर के ये सैटरडे से नहीं था, वैसे ही मंडे को remember everything that I have taught you, because if you don't remember what I have taught you, there's no point doing questions. I will not do the questions. I'm telling you very clearly. I will see you guys on Monday morning. Any doubt, difficulty?